puppy and my cat. Let's not forget my other cat, Gray Bear. Everybody likes this. And that one there is playing in the litter box. That's Molly. Anyhow, yeah, let's get this thing started here. I got, right now, some frozen meat, and I tried to separate it when I put it in the package. So I do have some little dividing lines there. I had to take the wife's big, huge, giant bar, and I put that on top of it to actually push it down to break the meat apart. But yeah, we're gonna get this started and get that set up here. There we go. All right, so we got somebody jumping in there. Hey, how you doing there? Let's see, we got Don Schroeder saying hello. Hello, Don and Donna, of course. Thank you for showing up there, Donna. Yeah, we were making a burger bowl today, and I had to get this this beef here, and this is all beef that I had from previous. It was in a big giant chub, but I got to get it ready to go because I'm hungry. Now, I started a fast about 30 some hours ago, and I didn't complete it. I didn't do it right. I totally forgot I was fasting, and that was a problem. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably cut this package to get this out, and then put it away the right way, because it's not gonna come out. Unfortunately, I have to sacrifice the bag. Okay, get that out. Put that in the pan. Get this turned on and ready to go. There we go. I'm just gonna start that on super duper low heat, because that's how I like to cook frozen meat. Is you want it to thaw slowly. I didn't even know that was a good idea until I started Carnivore, because this is how I always cook frozen meat anyways, because I tried to thaw it slowly. That way you don't get a bunch of weird bacteria and nonsense like that. Get that all packaged up and put away. But yeah, all right. Grab you guys up. We're gonna go take a trip over to the freezer. We're gonna toss this back in the freezer. Say hi to the puppy. And there's my cat Dusty sitting in my chair. And of course, Gray Bear. Don't forget the star of the show, Molly, last time. Man, she was the carnivore cat last time. She wanted to eat all of my steak. And I'm making a mess. All right. Oh, booby traps. I'm setting booby traps up for later. There we go. But yeah, I'm getting down there on my meat supply. I need to get out and get some more beef. I got some steaks up here in the fridge. Those are thawing out. They probably won't be thawed out until tomorrow. I found out that the best way to thaw out steaks from frozen is to put them in the fridge for over 24 hours. So that is on. Okay, I get worried about that because it's a gas stove, and once in a while the gas stove doesn't always kick on. We're going to turn that heat up just a little bit. Then we're going to get in here, and this is usually what I make my burger bowls in, is one of these type bowls. Now this is like a pho bowl or a noodle bowl, you know, oriental type bowls, and it holds all the meat just fine. Then I'm going to add some eggs into there at the very end. But yeah, I'm kind of hungry. And last night we actually had Costco pizza, but I had Costco pizza the carnivore type way, as I just took the cheese off. And the first bite of the cheese pizza that I took, I actually took a bite of the dough, and it was so disgusting because I'm not used to eating the pizza dough anymore. So I took a bite of it, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I had to spit it out. But yeah, it's just amazing how our taste changes over time. All right, kitty, come on. I know you just. I have to fight a cat to get my seat so we can actually do this. Anyways, let's see. I try to put it in the fridge a day or two before cooking. Yeah, Don, that is a absolutely good idea. But I wasn't expecting to be eating, and since I screwed up my fast anyway, I'm just gonna make some food and get over the fact that I screwed my fast up. All right, come here, little fuzzle butt. Ugh. I swear, this cat. So how are you guys doing? I mean, I haven't really been too busy on the carnivore side of things, besides just trying to, eat meats and make stuff that's keto friendly and stuff like that. So Let's see, what am I making? I'm going to be cooking up a burger bowl from frozen. So there's about a pound to maybe a pound and a half of beef in the cast iron skillet right now. And I got to fight my cats all the time. That's what they do here. Come on, see you, bye. Okay, that one took off, thank goodness. And then I'm going to be adding some eggs into it in a little bit. I was going to make a carnivore type pizza, but I don't want all that extra cheese because I just had, the toppings off a cheese pizza from Costco yesterday, and that was a bit much. So my weight loss for the week is probably just going to be flat zero. Earlier on today, I did go out and I did some filming around the Anchorage area. I wanted to show people the Riviera Terrace trailer park. It was a trailer park I was getting ready to move into about 5 or 6 years ago because there was a very inexpensive trailer home in there. And the only deciding factor at that time was the trailer home was really small. And granted, my family can fit in a small trailer, but I didn't think it would be a great idea to move in there. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be yummy, I hope. Lorena, that's a new face. I don't believe I've seen you chime in here before. I do appreciate you showing up. And yeah, we're just going to keep an eye on the frozen meat, and I'm just going to start peeling it away kind of slowly to get everything all cooked up, and then I'm going to add in a couple eggs on top of that, and that's going to be my carnivore meal for the day. It'll probably be my only meal for the day too, because that's a lot of meat. That's a pound and a half. That's pretty good for an average day of eating for me. So what do you got going on, Donna? Are you actually paying attention, or where'd you go? You disappeared. Lucifer, he said, good morning. Hey, good morning, Lucifer. I'm Big John. I live here in Anchorage, Alaska. Currently doing the carnivore type diet, so that's what we're doing. Let's see. Hey, John, look at it this way. You may not be dropping weight, but as long as you are maintaining, that's the good news. That's been the most important thing I've had to consider, Donna, is that, right now, because we're in the transition between spring and summer here in Alaska, life's kind of slow right now, at least for the remainder of the month of April. And then my summertime work will start picking up. I'll be outside. I'll be more active. I'll be working a lot more. And once the temperature goes up here, I should be dropping weight pretty quick, I hope. I'm hoping to get down to, 285 in the next couple of months. And for those of you new here, I've been hanging out over 300 pounds for a period of time. I did get down below 300 pounds a few times in the weight loss journey, but a lot of that was with some pretty serious type fasting routines. And fasting weight loss isn't 100% weight loss, if anybody didn't know that. So it's really hard to get solid weight loss numbers, especially under your goal weight of, just trying. For me, the first milestone was getting the first 100 pounds off. That came off really quickly, and it managed to stay off, thank goodness. And then I wound up progressively losing more and more weight. So 100 pounds came off in 15 weeks. And then with the carnivore diet, I've lost, a good 60 something pounds on the carnivore diet, which is pretty normal from what I've been hearing, is that people are losing, 60 to 70 pounds on the carnivore diet. And some people are losing more, but it's a lot slower weight loss on the carnivore diet than it was when I was just doing a lot of fasting, and I was actually in a job where I was moving around more. So the more movement you can get along with the low carb type lifestyle, the better off anybody's going to be. Let's see. Eric says, been easy. Let's see. Wow, Eric, that's a long fast. Let's see. Probably be breaking a 72-hour fast. That's a good, decent fast there, 72 hours. Yeah, the longest fast I've ever done is a solid 5 days. I've done many different types of 5-day fasts over this weight loss journey, but and some of them I was actually able to eat food. So it depends on what type of food you're considering. Some of the keto friendly type foods that I would use in a pinch, especially when you're carb addicted, I was using like dill pickles and a lot of eggs. Eggs were super helpful. Even a week-long egg fast worked out extremely well because you're in a ketogenic state, but you're still allowed to eat food. And the same thing goes for sardines and stuff like that. If you're struggling, like absolutely struggling, and want to eat some food, just pop open a can of sardines, and that's a win-win situation there. Plus, you're going to get a lot of nutrients similar to your multivitamins, like 90 calories per can. So it's kind of throw everything off there. Ooh, there I did it. I flipped it over. I'll let it brown on that side for a little bit. So you guys what I got going on here. All right, that's going to be brown in there on that side for a little while. Just going to cover it up, put it on low heat. And then hopefully we can have some food before long. Because, yeah, I'm hungry. But the trip to the trailer park today was kind of interesting because, like I said, I was going to live there and purchase a home in there a few years back. I'm grabbing some eggs right now. These are huge eggs. I've been getting these at Costco, these brown eggs. And a lot of these eggs are double yolkers. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And when I get ready to cook eggs, I like to set them out on the counter for a little bit. Just let them kind of come up to temperature. I don't know if anybody else does that, but that's what I do. I've always been that way. And when I had my own chickens, I used to just leave my eggs on the counter. I never ever had to put them in the fridge. They just sat on the counter. They stay like that. They're designed, eggs are designed to stay like that for a very long period of time. But when you buy these store-bought eggs, you got to be a lot more careful, especially the white ones. Let's see. So Donna's done a 24-hour fast. That's not a bad fast there. Now, I lost a lot of weight for a period of time doing 24-hour fasting. And that was one of my favorite type fastings, especially when I was on a steady work schedule. And my favorite meal of the day has always been dinner. So it was easy to wake up in the morning, you know, get my coffee, my electrolytes, and get my water, get out the door. And if I ever did carry snacks, and I don't snack very much, especially now, I don't care about snacks anymore, which is great. I used to feel like I always had to eat something. I felt like a cow that was grazing across a, you know, a very nice pasture, just always wanting to eat food, eat food. And then when I learned how to fast, I realized, oh, I don't need that much food, because over a period of time, we get our brains kind of wrapped around the thought process of we have to eat all the time, and that's crazy. Let's see, try it. Indian food, butter, chicken, Tarda, nani, lassi, paneer, tikka. That sounds good. Now, a lot of the Indian foods has a lot of spices in there, and some of those spices tend to throw me into a kind of like an internal type panic. Not that it's so spicy hot, it just kind of messes up my digestion. Hey, let's see, what's this? Yeah, we're making a burger bowl today. This is entertaining. I highly doubt you're entertained. I think you're being sarcastic. AI, CGI. Appreciate you dropping in, though. I like it when people drop in randomly and say things. Just try to keep it civil and just whatever. But it is what it is. Well, yeah, we've just been hanging out. It's been sunny here for the last couple of days. I woke up this morning here. It was about 34 degrees. It's cloudy outside. It's kind of depressing. It's kind of why I did a live stream. I need some friends right now. So, yeah, I appreciate you jumping in there, Donna. No, you're actually a great guy. I can tell. I appreciate that, AI. CGI. Do you have a YouTube channel, sir? Or ma'am? I don't know. I can't tell from your YouTube handle. It says AI CGI, yeah, which is possible. Yeah, you do. All right. I'll try to remember that after the stream's over, and hopefully go check it out. I do like supporting other YouTube channels that are popping in and out. You're from Europe. Wow, that's a good reach. That's a long walk from here. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska, and yeah, we're currently going through breakup. So all the snow's melting away, the ground's starting to thaw. It's just miserable and kind of yucky. Yesterday it was beautiful and sunny. I got out and did a little bit of running around yesterday with the wife. My wife does Instacart, so that was kind of fun to get out with her. We did go up into Eagle River, and that was nice. I'm gonna kind of separate the unfrozen bits into the pan. I need to let go of the phone. There we go. Ta-da! I think I might have too much heat going on here. I tend to do that. Oh yes, this is thawing nicely. Take that, flip it over. I was really hoping for some burgers today, and then I realized I didn't have any burgers. I didn't have any frozen burgers. I don't have any burger patties. I'm out of burger meat, and this is the last of it. And in order to make burgers out of frozen, you got to wait a long time to let it thaw correctly, and I just don't care to waste my time. It's just easier to make a burger bowl out of this. But I never thought in a million years I would go through, between me and the family, of course, we go through a lot of burger meat. Either if we make them like macaroni and cheese, we'll add extra protein in there to make it a little bit healthier for them. They seem to like that a lot. All right, we're gonna let that chill out for a little while. I need to get my egg pans set up for when I'm ready. Clean that out. That way I don't have a bunch of yuck in there. Now I found the best egg pans are typically the cheapest ones. I think this one was like $5 or $6. I got this at a Fred Meyer's store, but it works really well. And I actually had them set up I bought them for camping here in Alaska because they were inexpensive. I could throw it in a tote. I think this one was the one, this one here I had in a tote, but you can see it got a battle scar. But now I have some cast iron skillets. I want to get some more cast iron skillets for getting out and doing some camping and stuff like that, because they work really well for camping. They retain the heat, they're durable, they're not going to dent like that inexpensive one, even though the inexpensive one works just fine. The only advantage to an inexpensive type pan or skillet while you're out is that if you do damage it, you're not screwing up $100 freaking saucepan or something like that on the go. What happened here? I did something. Okay. I am from Delhi. Nice to meet you. I do not have a clue how to pronounce that name. It looks like it might be Derv Yadav. My tongue doesn't work like that. Dur Yadav. Yeah, I apologize for butchering that name there. I am from India City, Mumbai. Wow, that's amazing, Muhammad. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you. Let's see. I defrost the meat before I cook it, no matter what I'm making. Yeah, I don't tend to do that. I just like to. So I got a weird system that I have with frozen burger patties. Is I cook them in cast iron on really low heat. That way I can get a nice steady cook as it's thawing out at the same time, and then I'll just pull the meat apart. And when it's all said and done, it comes out perfect for me. Let's see, I usually take the meat out the night before and I stick it in the fridge. So the next day I am all set to cook it. Yeah, well, like I said, I was fasting, so I wasn't thinking ahead. And then when I broke my fast, I wasn't thinking either, because that was probably the time I should have got something ready. I thought I was just going to maybe start another fast. And this is some of the stuff I talk about with fasting. You got to have a set plan and a set schedule. And I started that last fast really randomly, so I didn't have my mindset set up for an extended type fast, like even a 36-hour fast, which is actually considered extended. And so I wound up eating some food totally by accident because my mind wasn't wrapped around the fact that, oh, hey, you're fasting, you need not to eat food today, until around this time. I think I could have broke my fast at about 9 o'clock, and that would have been a solid 36 hours. Let's see. I couldn't agree more. Let's see. With the fasting. Yeah, fasting, if you're doing it for holidays or religious reasons, it's setting up your mindset. You're using thought. You're using a forethought. You're using prayer to get yourself set up for fasting. And the same thing goes for if you're not doing it for religious reasons. You're still needing to prepare your mind just to get in that zone. Like, hey, I'm fasting. I'm starting on this day. I'm going to fast until this day, and this is how I'm going to plan my fast. I'm going to get through it by drinking X, Y, and Z for the amount of your water, and then whatever vitamins and electrolytes you take while you're fasting. It just works. I mean, that's the safest way to fast. It's easier to fast that way. When I did a 5-day water fast, I was blown away by how much food that I didn't require. I thought for sure, there's no way I can do this. And then I started looking at people that have been fasting for extended period of time. There was one gentleman, he fasted for 170 days, 170 or 140 days straight, where all he did was drink water, take his electrolytes and his vitamins. That was it. That's an amazing fast. But that got me thinking, like, wow, if he can go 170 days and this is what he's doing, and I had to research this guy in depth to make sure he was actually doing what he said he was doing, and he was, as far as I could tell, because I didn't want to embark on a 170-day fast. That just seemed absolutely bonkers to me. Still does. So I was okay with doing a 5-day fast. If I can make it 5 days, and that means I could do it again, and I have. I've done it a couple times now since I started the weight loss journey. The first time that I accomplished a 5-day water fast with 30 pounds of weight loss, and the second time was 15 pounds, and that was expected. I expected 15 pounds of weight loss on the second time because, you know, the first one I was so morbidly obese and out of shape. My legs were swollen, they hurt. You know, just getting that water weight off was so incredibly important. Once the water weight came off, I was able to move and do stuff, actually get out and about. You know, I was still in a lot of pain, but I was actually able to, you know, survive the day in most cases. And I was urinating a lot. I mean, a lot. So my kidneys were starting to function again. So a lot of that water was coming out of my body, going out the right way. Some of it was coming out because I restarted my metabolism and I started sweating again. And I didn't even know before I started fasting that my metabolism was like 100% broken until the third day of that water fast, where it just kicked in. It was like, boom, I started just dumping sweat. It was crazy. Let's see. You managed a 5-day fasting? My goodness. Yes, I've done several 5-day fasts, not all completely without food, some with food, but they were still a struggle. So I did a 5-day fast with sardines, just sardines. That was it. 1 can of sardine for each meal. So that's approximately 90 calories per meal. So 3 meals a day of just sardines. I made 4 days out of that. I couldn't make the 5th day because it felt like my stomach was having issues with the oil or the fish or something about that fast was just off. Plus I was early on in my fasting practice. So it took me a little while. Now I also did a 5-day egg fast, which I've done 2 5-day egg fasts, and I've had similar results regardless of the amount of eggs I ate. So the first time I did an egg fast, it was 3 hard-boiled eggs in the morning. I had 3 hard-boiled eggs for lunch and 3 hard-boiled eggs for dinner, and that was it. It was just vitamins and electrolytes. That was all I was having besides eggs. I did that for a solid 5 days, lost about 7 to 14 pounds. I can't remember. I'd have to go back through my notes and look, but it was at least 7 pounds. And then I did another one where I ate as many eggs as I felt like for 5 days. So until I was satiated and full, I was eating eggs, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, pickled eggs. Didn't matter. It was just as long as it was eggs. My mouth doesn't want to work, right? Because my mind's on this. Because if I don't pay attention to what I'm cooking, I'm going to wind up screwing it up. All right, we're getting closer to mashing all this up. Yeah, there we go. Nice. This will be cooked up soon. Yum. I am looking forward to eating this, especially once I get the eggs in there. Now I did one the other day where I just put the eggs in the pan with the meat, and the eggs, you know, I wasn't like frying the eggs. And I might just do that this time too. And it just incorporates all the eggs. It gets all the juices from the beef incorporated into the eggs, and that worked really well, especially for getting that fat content up there. Because if you're eating the carnivore diet, it's so incredibly hard to get the right amount of fat. And I made a burger bowl not too long ago, just like this in the cast iron, where I just threw in 3 eggs on top. I did add a little bit of cheese to that one, some mozzarella cheese. I'm not going to do that to this one because it didn't really work out like I planned. And the cheese that I put in there, you know, even though it was mozzarella, it was somewhat harmless. But I didn't really notice it in the meat. So in the meat or with the combination of the eggs, it didn't give me that that weird sensation you get when you're eating like say American cheese or provolone cheese. I mean, it was like pointless. Like, why did I put that in there now? So we're gonna probably bump the heat up on that. I want to get this to cook. So we're gonna smear you guys out. And this stuff's almost done. It's a little red for right now, but it'll be done here in just a little bit. Now pop you back on there and wait until it starts making a little bit of noise, and then I'll come back to it and start stirring it up again. Let's see. What'd you say there? All I could was 3-day fasting. 3-day fast is an amazing fast there, AI. Let's see. Is it true about the brain fog just going away after a certain number of days on the carnivore diet? Yes, sir. Absolutely, it is. I don't know, I'm not telling you to go back and look at my previous videos and my playlists, but I was horrible. I mean, I did a really good job at editing. I also retook a lot of scenes, and I try to make it, have the same voice and same inflection in all of it. I couldn't sit here at that time, within my first 20 weeks of weight loss, there was no way I could sit here and have this conversation for this long without a whole bunch of crap. I'd be distracted. I'd be off topic. I'd be talking about, stuff in China and politics and religion and everything else off the top of my head that I could think of, just to hopefully, but nothing made sense. Sunshine, Alaska. Hey there, Sunshine. I appreciate you too. I'm definitely going to check out your other videos. Now, keep in mind, AI, those first videos were literally horrible. I mean, they got like maybe 500 views. Some people did get some decent information out of it. But yeah, that was the beginning of my weight loss journey. My head was huge. I mean, it was like this much bigger, my face was. And everything else about me was that much bigger. I think my leg circumference at that time per leg was pretty close to what my waistline is right now per leg. So it was hard. My feet didn't fit in my shoes. And all of that was 48 weeks ago. So, I mean, if anybody's suffering from obesity, yeah, it's totally possible, to fix that in a quick amount of time, or at least become overly functional, like super functional within 20 weeks. I mean, my health improved dramatically within 20 weeks. And that was without the carnivore diet. That was doing keto and stuff like that, trying to figure out that nonsense. That was hard for me to figure out, keto-friendly foods, because I kept running into foods that said keto-friendly or keto-friendly recipes, and it turned out to be, it didn't work. It didn't keep me in ketosis. You could tell, because once you experience ketosis, like a really good, solid ketosis and autophagy, you can feel it. I mean, you can feel it. It's like your body shifting gears, kind of like you're shifting gears in a sports car. Let's see. Hello, just got here. I was repotting some of my garden starts. Awesome. That time of year, man. We haven't got any garden starts set up. I do have a little section over here behind where we have our dishes at the sink, where I have a grow lamp. And we're really not that focused on growing anything this year. If we do, we're probably going to put some carrots in the ground. I'm not sure what else the wife might have planned, but that's about all we're going to do this year, if anything. If I should grow some decent carrots, I'll eat my own carrots. The carrots that come out of this soil, however we take care of them. I might snack on those, but that's going to be about it. The vegetables, man, have really screwed me up over the years because I've been force-fed so many vegetables. And it just hasn't worked out for the best. There we go. Oh, this looks good. I'm happy. I need some new cookware, because these silly Amazon ones, they just don't, things fall off. And when you're cooking, that's not fun. Just flipped over. Now, another thing I have cut out for anybody interested in, so I was talking with, I mentioned Todd at Carnivore Cure a lot, because he's got a lot of great talking points and stuff that we, discuss. And I pay attention to what he says, because he's a bigger guy. I think he's still maybe around 400 pounds. But, he's already lost 300 pounds on the carnivore diet. He's doing amazing. He really over-sciences everything. And I think it's kind of interesting, because when I first met him, he was a really big, round guy. And his face has changed so much. But he mentioned he cut out using black pepper. So that was something I cut out like almost immediately. It was like, okay, red flag. So black pepper's a problem. So I started cutting it out too. Now, I haven't really noticed anything too much as far as different when it comes to me removing black pepper. So it is a seed. And sometimes a lot of these weird seeds tend to make these strange responses. And I was wondering if that was something. Now, I also cut out coffee and caffeine for a period of time. I didn't notice one difference with coffee either. And for some people, coffee really screws them up, especially in the morning. It can also release cortisol in some circumstances. I didn't know much about cortisol until I started doing all this. Let's see. Thanks for sharing with us your journey. Oh, yeah, no problem, man. This is what I do. I share my journey, and lately I've been making videos about trying to show people around the Anchorage area, showing them some neighborhoods. I did a video on the Mountain View neighborhood, which is said to be the most dangerous neighborhood in Anchorage, Alaska, and all of those topics. For as far as dangerous, I haven't experienced that at all here. You know, Anchorage is supposed to have such a high crime rate. We're the highest crime rate in the entire country. And we do have a lot of domestic violence, especially throughout the winter time and stuff like that. But I don't see it. And it's hard if you don't see it, you know, to really believe in it. So in the meantime, we're making a burger bowl, and I'm starving. And I ate a bunch of, so I had about 3 or 4 slices of that Costco pizza last night. But like I said, I removed the cheese and kind of made a you know, little ball. I was just snacking on the cheese off the pizza. That seemed to work pretty good. We're going to add a little bit of Redmond salt with garlic, just to give it a little kick of garlic. And I oversalt. Since I started the carnivore diet, I literally oversalt like everything now. And salt was something I avoided at all costs at one point. You know, because the doctors told us for so many years, and all these health professionals and geniuses out there, you know, they were telling us that salt was the root of all evil. Well, is it? I mean, is it? Is salt bad? Well, here's the thing. If we don't have salt in our diet, we're never going to get electrolytes, because electrolytes literally comes from good quality salts like this. This is Himalayan pink salt. This salt here is Redmond's real salt. And you can see the color difference in the bottom. It's got minerals we need. I didn't know that. I didn't know that for so long. And I mean, being ex-military, you think I would. You know, I knew we needed some sort of salt for electrolytes while out in the field, you know, to keep us going. And because sometimes when you're out in the field, you're sweating all day long, you kind of forget to drink. And then when you become dehydrated, and your cells, you can drink water, but your cells won't allow the water to actually get inside, especially without electrolytes and potassium and magnesium. Yeah, I found that super interesting, that I was screwing myself up and didn't even know it. So yeah, another type salt. Now this is a mixture here. This is a Celtic sea salt, or Celtic sea salt. It's a mixture of that with some older Himalayan pink salt we put in there. We use that once in a while. And this here is just regular Redmond salt. And you can see all the little minerals in there, like the discoloration. Yeah, that's minerals and nutrients that our body needs. And then I found out the hard way that if you don't have a little bit of this, you're going to get leg cramps. And once you start getting leg cramps, this is kind of the cure. This is potassium. You know, no salt. This is the easiest way to get some potassium in your body and get rid of those horrible cramps. I need to get some. I'm going to put the eggs right in here. Ba-boom. Now you guys can watch me make a mess with eggs. Now there was a day where I was cracking eggs. I like to crack them on the counter sometimes. These crack nicely on the side of a cast iron pan. But yeah, I was trying to crack it on the counter over here, and I wound up leaving the whole egg on the counter. And then I was coming over to the pan with nothing but a shell in my hand, and I was like, why am I trying to put the shell in there? I was so off. I wasn't recording at that time. I was getting ready to do a live stream, and I wanted to get the messy part of cracking an egg out of the way. Kind of screwed that up, but I don't mind making mistakes. I mean, we're doing live streams. This stuff would happen in real life if we were hanging out here in my kitchen together. And it's not, being on YouTube isn't about being perfect. Same thing with losing weight. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going and going and going. And then hopefully, you know, throughout that process, you're going to get some results in time. I'm going to mix these eggs on up in here. And that's going to absorb all the fats. It's going to kind of make everything stick together, kind of like a meatloaf. You know, I hear people say, "Oh, you got to drain the fat," blah blah blah. Well, you know, when you make a meatloaf, are you draining the fat off of that meatloaf? I mean, same principle, same theory right here. This way, it just kind of holds on to everything. Takes a little while to cook it this way, but that's okay. You got to keep moving it around, or else it's gonna burn. Let's see what's going on here. Will you be in WW3? I don't know. When's World War III coming? I don't know if it's coming or not. The preppers keep predicting World War III, and so far, you know, it doesn't seem like we're getting there, but it's possible. Let's see. Make me a plate. I'll be over in a bit. I'll bring the chronic. Yeah, no problem. My wife might have some, but she quit smoking, and I don't smoke weed, even though it's legal here in the state. I just don't. I've never been a big fan of it. I smoked it. I smoked some really good stuff that me and my ex-wife were growing, and holy cow, I thought I was going to be that one guy, you know, that was going to have to call a frickin' ambulance because I smoked the wrong pot and I had too much, and it really wasn't even that. So, yeah, I don't smoke pot. Not anymore. I never really did. Even when I was smoking pot, I didn't smoke a lot of it because it makes me feel funny. It makes me feel like I'm an idiot. So I kind of stay away from it. I'm not against it, but what is y'all options on furries and why? I don't know what that means. I smoked a cremated person. That doesn't sound like a great idea. Smoking a cremated person. How are you? I'm doing pretty good there, Plain Bubble. I am from Anchorage, Alaska. I am in my kitchen. I live in a humble little trailer home. Mainly what I talk about on my channel is carnivore, weight loss. And here lately I'm starting a playlist of showing people around the Anchorage area. Chances are those videos aren't going to do well. Hopefully it doesn't screw me up on the algorithm because for some reason YouTube algorithm is pretty sensitive. If you take like a week off, trying to get back on top in your ratings is really hard. So I try not to take a whole lot of time off. That's why I like to add in these random live streams. They seem to help. I feel like I'm short an egg, so I'm going to put another egg in here. Let that cook in there. So I got about 4 eggs in here now. These are big fat eggs too. They're not those little tiny white ones you buy at Walmart. Now there was a period of time that all I was buying was those white ones. For one, they were inexpensive, and they really did get me by. But I was having a hard time with them because they vary in quality so much. Because when you're buying eggs at Walmart in bulk, here's the big 60 count eggs, you think you're getting a hell of a deal, but chances are those eggs are not very nutritious. So I've been buying these eggs, and these are the brown ones I get at Walmart. They say omega-3, they got a bunch of words on the package, but I don't pay attention to that. But they're about $11.38 for 40 of them. So I'm spending a little bit more money, but I'm getting a bigger egg. I'm getting a better quality egg. And so far there's a whole lot more nutrition in this egg, even though I'm spending more. So the cost effectiveness is pretty close to the same as buying the cheap, inexpensive white ones. So yeah, I mean, all day long, if you buy the brown eggs, you're going to get a better quality egg. Let's see. God bless and stay safe. I appreciate you there, AI. You're probably jumping out. I don't blame you. Let's see. Heather P. Hi from Boston. Hey there, Heather. Yeah, I used to live in Concord, New Hampshire. We used to drive when I was a kid, I used to take the Greyhound bus from Concord, New Hampshire, and it'd make a few stops on the way to Boston, but we used to go down there and go skateboarding around the city. And we had a pretty good time, and then it's just a day trip, and then we go back in the afternoon. Richmond, Virginia, I'm guessing, or maybe another Richmond in the world. There's a lot of Richmonds in the world. Let's see. I love England's best. Oh, you're talking about England's best eggs? Okay, yeah. I don't think we have any ostriches here in Alaska there, Howie. If we do, we might have one at the zoo, but I highly doubt it. I don't think ostriches would do too well. Have you seen The Hairy Man? Nope, I have not. Now, there's a little joke that goes on here on the Glen Highway. So somebody made a cutout of Bigfoot, and they kind of place it in random places to see if people can find it. It's kind of like a Where's Waldo for the commuters. It gives them something to do on the way into town. It's kind of fun. Let's see. I live in Cockeysville. I don't know where that's at. Let's see. Yes. Let's see. Deuce fault. LOL. I probably need to pay attention to my food. I'm going to be mad if I screw this up. So far, so good. That's what it looks like. That was the last egg I put in there. We're just letting everything cook up. And we're just going to scoot the sides around. I never imagined I'd ever be on YouTube making food and having conversations with people in like so many different countries like India and China. I mean, it totally blows my mind. You know, all of this, you know, connectivity type stuff. Now, I used to have, you know, when I was driving for Carlisle, I was running the ice roads or running the Dalton Highway. And then they would have these, I had 2 Facebook accounts that were like completely maxed out, but I didn't know you could make money, you know, talking about your stuff that I was doing up on the haul road. I mean, it was just crazy the amount of time and effort I put into those 2 Facebook accounts, you know, because I would come back and I'd respond to everybody, and I'd take a lot of time, give people a lot of, you know, information about the trips, how the weather was up there, you know, because we had a lot of trips up there on the Dalton Highway where, you know, sometimes we didn't know if we were coming home, and it was just part of the lifestyle of working up there, because you go up there in the wintertime and it's minus 30, you make mistakes. You know, one of my most ridiculous haul road mistakes was when I got out in the middle of nowhere. I could see about 50 miles in both directions, and it's in the middle of the night. You know, it's always nighttime up here in Alaska when you're driving around, you know, because we get like forever darkness for months. But I couldn't see headlights coming either direction, so I just stopped my truck in the middle of the road. And then I got out to take a leak. Well, as I did that, I shut the door, and the warmest spot is usually right around front of the truck, right in front of the radiator. So I was taking a leak right there, but I was out there in a t-shirt and just regular pants. But when I went back to my truck, my door was locked. I couldn't get back in the truck. I was like, holy crap, it's minus 30. The wind's blowing at about 5 or 10 mile an hour. So that makes the wind chill factor pretty close to what, minus 50 or something like that, or at least minus 40. It was cold. So I'm out there in a t-shirt panicking. It's dark outside, my truck's running, and the only thing I can think of is to break the window. And then as I was getting ready to break the window, I had an epiphany. I was like, holy crap. I said, I have these side boxes that don't lock on my truck, and if I go in the side box, there's a little lever and I can open my sleeper door. So I got my sleeper door open. So now I have access to get in the truck without breaking a window. That would have sucked. But I have this stupid fuel tank in my way. So I'm trying to climb up over this fuel tank to get in my truck, and I keep slipping off. I'm falling down on the ground. By that time, 15 or 20 minutes has gone by, and I'm freezing. Every time I fall down, I'm like landing on frozen ice. I'm injuring myself. And then I realized, wow, idiot, how about you just climb up on the catwalk and swing your leg around and you can climb right in the door. So that's what I did. That was about 20 minutes after being outside at minus 30 degrees with the wind blowing. So ridiculous. And then I got in there, and mind you, I'm parked in the middle of the Dalton Highway. There's no traffic up there at that time. But and I'm just laying in my bed for a little while. And a buddy of mine comes up behind me and he's like, hey, you okay? I explained to him what happened, and he was just like, oh my goodness, you've been up here for a while. I saw your taillights for 50 miles when I was coming off the pass. What crazy times, man. But yeah, so ever since that, up here in Alaska, it doesn't matter where I'm at, if I'm in a city snow dump or anywhere, whenever I'm getting out of my truck and it's running and it's cold outside, I roll my window down. Always. I roll my window down enough I can get an arm in there. That way I can always make sure I can get in my vehicle. And I do that a lot in my personal vehicles too, because we have these newfangled cars with electric door locks. And I don't know how many times I've been locked out of my own car. Makes me so mad. So yeah, we're getting this burger bowl together. I'm hungry. Well, this is what I'm eating on the carnivore diet, guys, if anybody's interested. So I got about maybe a pound to 2 pounds of ground beef, browned it up from frozen in a cast iron skillet. Let's see, how long has this video been? Yeah, it's taking me about a half hour to 40 minutes to brown this up. I've added, let's see, 4 or 5 eggs into it. So I got protein. I got a lot of healthy protein from the eggs, a lot of healthy nutrition from the eggs. If you want to make this a little bit healthier, you just add in some sardines. That works really well. It makes a really well-rounded, nutrient-dense, meat-based carnivore type meal. Gotta let that pan cool off so the dog can have some here in a little bit. So let me check on the comments, see what's going on in here. Did you freeze? I was cold. I didn't freeze. I don't know how I got out of that without frostbite. That was horrible. Let's see. Do I live in Alaska? Yes, I live in Anchorage, Alaska. And I need some of this. A little bit of sriracha. That helps. And it's so much better to use like sriracha than it is to use barbecue sauce. Most barbecue sauce contains a lot of sugar and stuff like that, which is counterproductive to what we're trying to do here. Now this does contain a little bit of sugar, but compared to barbecue sauce, it's a lot less sugar, and it's natural sugar. It's not high fructose cockapoo, because we do not do high fructose anymore. I don't think anybody should. If you're consuming high fructose corn syrup and you're having health issues, you might want to get rid of the high fructose corn syrup and sort out your health issues, because it could be the high fructose corn syrup causing the problems. For me, I found out that it was a lot of seed oils was causing some problems, especially with inflammation. You get rid of the inflammation in your body, you're going to feel like a new person. Absolutely. You know, if you're overweight, you're retaining water, get away from the seed oils almost immediately. Seed oils, high fructose corn syrup, just run away from that stuff, because it is doing so much to you that you don't even realize it until you get it out of your system. I mean, you might as well be eating rat poison and expecting good things to happen. That's kind of what the high fructose sugar industry is doing to us. They're normal something or other. I can't read that. Let's see. It says hello there. The vault true. Yep. Slim Jesus, I'm the same. I honestly have a fear of leaving my car locked with me in it. But yeah, here in Alaska, you can put yourself in a life or death situation pretty quickly. Just stepping out of the car and checking on something. And yeah, so I just leave the windows down just enough. You know, thankfully we don't have cars that automatically roll the window up in most cases. Hey there, Nana. How you doing? Where are you from, Nana? It says Nana Adua Yasin. Have a great day. Hey, thank you for dropping by, Nana. Where are you from? Before you leave, tell me where you're from. Let's see, my Dodge Avenger has automatic door locks when you start moving. Yeah, a lot of our vehicles do have automatic door locks when you start moving. That's annoying too, especially if you're getting in and out of the vehicle and you need to access the other 3 doors. I don't know how many times, especially in my Ford. I had a Ford pickup where I would roll the window down, I'd get out, I'd run to the other side to get something out real quick, and the freaking door is locked. I'm like, and there's not even an unlock option for a key on that side. It's just, I don't know. Whoever thinks of these things is just absolute genius. Ghana West. Very nice. Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate you. It's probably pretty late at night there, isn't it? It only does if you're in gear. Yeah, a lot of our vehicles now, like even I think my wife's Jeep, it'll lock the doors once you're moving, and then as soon as you stop, it'll unlock the driver's side door, but everything else will remain locked, even the back door. So you can get out the driver's no problem. So whenever, you know, if somebody pulls on a door handle, it'll automatically unlock their door. But if you go around to the back to open up the back hatch, you gotta actually unlock the back hatch, which is really freaking annoying. All right. So yeah, this is what we're eating today on the carnivore diet. It's a big, giant freaking bowl about the size of my head. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a pound and a half, plus 4 or 5 eggs, a little bit of sriracha, just to give it that little bit of zing and some flavor. Now, when my taste buds changed after fasting, so when I first started losing weight, there was a lot of elimination of certain things. And then my taste buds changed really quickly. They changed again after I started carnivore. I didn't notice that change until about a month or so into the carnivore diet. Because when I first started the carnivore diet, I couldn't stand the smell. I couldn't stand the taste of meat. It just drove me nuts. I was like, and it was depressing because I was thinking about all those foods I missed, like just random stuff that I used to eat. Like, oh, I'm going to have to give up this, or I'm going to have to give up that. But after you get rid of a lot of the stuff that you miss for a period of time, you're just like, man, why was I even eating that stuff? Because I can get everything, even in something as simple as hamburger meat. Bro is built like a 1x1 Lego piece. Awesome. Let's see. Looks good. It is delicious. Your balding is depressing. Well, I apologize for my balding, but I like not having hair. So that was the one thing I liked about Vin Diesel when he hit the stage and Fast and the Furious, is he actually made bald people look kind of cool. And I was like, man, thank goodness, because he set a trend where a lot more guys were openly becoming, with a lot less hair up here. I could not stand the hair that I was growing. For one, I'm Alaskan native, so when I grow my hair out, it's really, really just greasy looking all the time. Doesn't matter how often I wash it. And it was something I was self-conscious about all my life. It was, my hair always looked like it was greasy. It looked like it needed to be washed, even 5 minutes after getting out of the shower. It was miserable. So yeah, I was happy as heck to be able to cut it all off. They can do whatever they want to me. I'm okay. I mean, if they get really disrespectful, yeah, we got people in here to remove them. It's not a big deal. I handle this stuff really well. Let's see. I screenshotted your forehead and played tic-tac-toe. Well, I'll give you something to do at least. Let's see, big man. Mr. Big Shot, at least he's not vegan. I did do vegan for a while, which is, I mean, I'm not embarrassed to say that. I did vegan for about 7 months with a girlfriend I had in Indiana. It pretty much kind of started wrecking me slowly from the inside out. I was losing weight on the vegan diet, but at that time I was early on in my trucking career, so I wasn't fat yet. But the reason I was losing weight is I was losing muscle mass. And then trying to figure out B12 supplements and figuring out how to get your protein. I never had enough energy on the vegan diet to want to exercise or go for walks or do even the simple stuff. I was just tired. I was tired all the time. But even though I was vegan, I was still highly addicted to sugar. So just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're not a sugar addict. You're still addicted to carbs. You're still addicted to sugar because you get a lot of sugars from vegetables. You get a lot of sugars from stuff that's not animal based. And that's all it is. I mean, you're just eating and drinking and consuming and, stuff that's not animal. That's all being a vegan is. So there's a lot of garbage that can go into a vegan diet. I think you can eat Oreos on a vegan diet. I mean, whatever. This is a hamburger bowl. This is what I ate on a carnivore diet. I got 80-20 ground beef, about a pound and a half, and I got about 5 eggs in here. So this is a pretty well-rounded, a lot of natural fats in here. So yeah, it's perfect. There is a lot of junk food in the vegan. Well, you don't have to have a lot of junk food in the vegan diet, but I mean, just to be quote unquote vegan, it allows a lot of junk food. So, I mean, it's just, the sky's the limit. There's a really big, wide open window when it comes to being vegan. And I don't hate vegans. I just don't like it when they just start razzing people like, oh, you killed an animal. Yeah, there's been people killing animals since like way before we were born. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to eat meat no matter what they say. But now I don't know if you can see it, but like there's liquid all the way down through the bottom here. You might be able to get an angle on there a little bit, but yeah. That's all healthy. That's all healthy fats. Now, if I wanted to add a little bit more additional healthy fats into this, I'd just add some butter. I just grabbed some Kerrygold butter, toss that right in. But I know for a fact that this is going to provide me enough fats that for the day, and then I'll be able to, evacuate things throughout my system, no problem. Because if you don't get enough fats, chances of getting constipated are pretty good. But if you're not transitioned already to a meat-based diet, sometimes you feel like you're constipated when you're not. That was something I had a hard time wrapping my head around, is like feeling like I was constipated but not being constipated. I mean, that was a weird situation. Let's see. Can you make me mod? Get in my belly, you cow. Yum. Let's see here. But yeah, so far, the reason I like the carnivore diet is because I'm a binge eater. I'm a glutton for food. So it doesn't matter if you put meat in front of me, vegetables, or fruit in front of me. I'm going to want to eat it all. Once I get started, I'm just like a freight train. That's how I got up to 435 pounds. It didn't matter. We could like buy a giant box of Taco Bell and I'd want to eat the whole thing. I was a mess. So if I just make it just meats and fats, eggs, a little bit of dairy here and there, and just eat that, I can eat pretty much whatever I want, when I want, and I'm still maintaining my weight. I'm not just rocketing through the roof of, perpetual weight gain like I was before. I think I was gaining around 15 to 20 pounds per month for an extended period of time. That was pretty scary. Don't forget iodine and some salt. I haven't really gotten into the whole iodine thing yet. I have been debating on whether to look into it or not. It doesn't overly concern me. I know some people that are real into it, but I'm not too worried about it. Oh, hey, I'm asked what the stream is about. Mainly I do carnivore type stuff. I talk about carnivore. I talk about weight loss from being extremely morbidly obese. My previous weight was 435 pounds, and I've been going down. I'm also here in Anchorage, Alaska, so I have unique places, neighborhoods, and stuff like that here in Anchorage. I do videos about that. I got one in the works right now of a local trailer park. Nice little drive-through, a little bit of talk about. I try to provide a little bit of history on those trips if I can find some. And I mean, there's just a ton of unique neighborhoods here in the Anchorage area. So even if you came up here as a tourist, you would never see them all. And that's kind of what I'm trying to provide, on my channel. It's just some more Alaskan experiences and stuff like that. Do you support who? I don't even know what that is. Congratulations on your weight loss. Yeah, so far I'm down about 100. So in the first 15 weeks of weight loss, I got I got a solid 100 pounds of weight loss off. That was with a lot of keto type eating and a lot of extended fast, 24-hour fast, 5-day water fast. And I was mixing up fasting with different types of fast where I only ate sardines for a week, sometimes eggs. And then a different time I did sardines and eggs, not at the same time, not in the same meal, but I was alternating meals between sardines and eggs. I lost a lot of weight that way, and it was sustainable weight loss. But fasting forever didn't seem like a good idea. So I was searching for other ways of losing weight and hopefully maintaining weight loss. So I did what most people do before they even get to the carnivore diet, is I started with a ketogenic type diet. And some people have great success with keto. They get it, they click with it real fast, and keto works for some people, or like the Atkins, similar keto type diet as well. That works for some people, but it's hard to get it to work for a very long time because you have to be really dedicated. I'm kind of lazy. I'll be honest. I'm a lazy guy. I don't exercise a lot. I don't get out and do things like, some people that are losing weight to lose weight. And that's what I used to think I had to do until I figured out how to lose weight when I was sleeping. And when you figure out ketosis and you figure out different ways of losing weight, just by literally laying in bed and breathing air, I thought that was pretty amazing. And I wanted to share that with people because, that's how I got my weight loss started, was I figured out how to lose weight while I was in bed. And that's where most of our weight loss happens, is when we're in bed. Our fat is burned like fuel in a car, and it comes out our mouth as exhaust. That blew me away. That was interesting stuff to me. I was like, holy crap, really? I thought we pooped it out or, pissed it out, or it came out with our sweat. We lose some weight with water weight when we sweat, but our fat is stored and it's burned like a combustion engine when it's time to use it, and it comes out through our breathing. I mean, that was so cool to learn. He's helping others and likes doing so. Yeah, that's pretty much all I do. I mean, I don't worry about the hate crowd, because there is a hate crowd. As soon as you start doing well with anything, it doesn't matter if you're doing well on YouTube, your video hits 25,000 views, you're doing well financially, you have a nice home, you have a nice wife, your car's beautiful, everything's perfect. As soon as you have that, people hate you for some reason. I gave up on that. I don't care. I'm almost 50 years old this month. I could not care if anybody liked me anymore. I just come out here to share what's happening with me. And then potentially somebody out there could hopefully hear my voice and say, hey, whoa, this guy was 435 pounds 48 weeks ago, and now he's down to around 300 pounds. That's a lot of weight loss. That's pretty good. And my wife's just coming home. What's going on, dear? Everything good?
Change of command at Peter's school.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got some event going on at the school there. Let's see. 8 same portions. Let's see. My cousins were skinny and had the same portions of food. Let's see, I turn 49 tomorrow. Hopefully this year I lose the weight. Well, Roy, it was funny when I started all this. I noticed there was a lot of people in the community, that are right around our age group, between 35 and even some as old as 80 years old. And they're all we're all waking up at the same time. We all ate the same crap for years, and we just kept eating it and kept believing we were making good choices by once in a while we'd make a good choice. That was our idea of, we're eating healthy. And that was where I was. Maybe we go to McDonald's, we get the McChicken, then we'd get a Sprite. And sometimes we'd get the water. I mean, we think that's a healthy choice for the day. Well, that's the furthest thing from the healthy choice. You out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Came home
I love
from
you,
my
dear.
water.
Okay.
I love you.
I'll see you in a little while.
Okay.
We're sitting here eating a bowl of burgers, and my wife's like scrambling around. It hurts the joints, doesn't it? The joints improve right away. Now, once you get the water weight off, your joints start to improve. Now, there is a lot of pain involved when you're getting that water weight off, especially if it's coming off quickly. You're going to have pain in your legs, your knees, your feet, your hips, your lower back. But that goes away over time. And the further along you go, you get a lot less pain. Even the pain in my neck is gone. I used to have a lot of pain in my neck all the time, and it was a problem. You see, before, when I first started this weight loss journey, my wife coming in and out like that, I would have lost my nuts. I would have been, frazzled. I wouldn't be able to stay focused or talking about anything. I think she's coming back. She never leaves the house before coming back again. Here she is. She always forgets something.
It's kind of chilly out. I want my gloves.
It is chilly out, but you're going to be inside. Maybe. I don't know. Hope she has fun wherever she's going. I do. I feel amazing overall, Roy. But like I said, there's a lot of, when you lose weight rapidly, like let's say 100 pounds in 15 weeks, the body is readjusting to its new weight, its new atmosphere. Everything about it's different. Like I said, I had plantar fasciitis for a period of time, where the tendons in the bottom of the feet, because I took all of that weight off. So 100 pounds came off. So my feet were doing this. My tendons didn't know what to do. So it took a long time for those tendons to readjust in my foot. So that was just part of the readjustment. And then I had a lot of adjusting parts, the little tiny bones and the cartilage and the, everything going on all the way up through my body. Even my knees were out of whack. Everything was out of alignment for a long period of time. But over time, it got better. Then when I started doing carnivore, within the first month or two, everything started getting much better. And I wasn't even being 100% carnivore. I was eating a 90-10 eating principle. 90% meats and fats, 10%. I didn't care what it was for that 10%. But I tried to keep it keto friendly. Now that did work for a period of time. But then I noticed I was still having some other issues here and there. That's why I started going, I'm probably about 98% carnivore now, right? Just to be fair, because once in a while I will eat just a bite or this or that, or just call that the random 2%. I might, if somebody's having a cake or whatever, they're here, take a bite of this. Okay, that's not going to hurt me. I know that enough now, because when I was doing 90-10, I was doing great, but I was still having issues with my digestive system. I was still having issues, a little bit of issues with this or that. And in time, it changed quickly. You know, the more strict I became with it. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win situation. Now, yesterday, Jason, he's chiming in saying, do you eat cheese or other dairy? Now, I can have heavy cream. I can eat cheese. Pay attention to how the cheese is made, how it's processed, other artificial ingredients, such as anti-caking type stuff. Some of that I will bat an eyelash at once in a while. But here yesterday, I did have Costco pizza. I took the toppings off the pizza. That's all I had. It was just cheese pizza. I wound up eating that. And I always do this to myself. I get started on a live stream, and then I start eating food. And I don't think about the choking factor. Because I don't know if any of you were here that day. I choked on something. I can't remember. It was pretty bad. It was dramatic. And I just rolled with the punches. I was like, okay, whatever. That's part of doing a live stream. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what your wife's going to scream about when she walks in the door. You don't know what your cats are going to do. So I got cats, and they like kind of bomb me. I got to fight this one off. All right, everybody say hi to Dusty. You guys want to say hi to Dusty? This cat is sitting in my dirty chair. Get up. Come on. Hey, let's go, bossy boss. Come on. Ugh. Get up here. There we go. I swear. Cats are fun, but they can be a handful at times. I really do love my cats. I mean, I was feeding my other cat, Molly. I was feeding her on camera the other day. She was going after the steak pretty hard. Hey, you want a bite? Let's see if he takes it. Nope, he's turning the other way. He doesn't even recognize that I was trying to give him some food. I'm okay with that. I will eat every bit of this. It's not a problem. And I feel, so after I eat about a pound of ground beef with some eggs and, salt, maybe a little bit of sriracha in there, I feel so healthy. Like I actually feel healthy. Like the kind of healthy you're supposed to feel when you eat a healthy salad, but a healthy salad doesn't make you feel healthy. It just makes you feel hungry. So that's how I feel after I eat, a monster bowl of meat and fat. Is I just feel like my gut is just perfect. Like I can go for a walk for 20 miles. I can do anything. I mean, that's a hard one to wrap my head around even now. It's like, because after I'm done eating this, I'm going to be energized. I'm going to want to do something. Now, chances are I won't, because I got a video over there. I got to still edit the video. It's in there processing, and it takes a long time to build videos anyhow. Sorry if you interrupted you all. Please help me by sharing my message. I don't even know what that is. Reach everywhere in the world. I am not safe. I'm in danger. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that sucks to hear about. Okay, do you get the 80-20 ground beef? So I've experimented with 70-30 ground beef and 80-20. Now the problem I have, at least with the particular, because every place you go is going to have meat that's a little bit different, so you gotta like experiment with the meat. I haven't experimented with Costco's 70-30 or whatever variation they have. But I did the Walmart 70-30. I wasn't happy with that. It was like 90. It felt like it was a lot of water, because when you cook the meat down, you get a lot of water content that comes out. I felt like there was more water than there was actual fat. So it was like they said it was 70-30, but I think they were jacking it up with water before they froze it. And then they call it 70-30, but it didn't work as well. I didn't feel like it was doing me justice. The hamburger meat was like, you cook a pound of it and you might get a quarter pound when you're done. It was just weird. But 80-20 is what I like to use because that works for me. Now, I know some people that are using 70-30 because it works better for them. And you got to find your fat to protein ratio. And it takes a little time. It's not a perfect science, especially if you're trying to transition. So don't expect to say, I'm a carnivore and I'm going to eat 100% meats and fats and do that without having issues. Because chances of having issues doing it that way are a lot higher, because you need to figure out who you are. You're relearning yourself is part of the practice. So it's an elimination diet for starters, and you can slowly start adding in bits and pieces of your previous lifestyle. So it's not like you're just chopping the balls off of a billy goat. You can actually experiment with it. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna, figure out what's ketogenic type friendly, and experiment with stuff like that. So if you have some keto friendly type bread recipes or something, you can try that. But after it's all out of your system for a period of time, you might actually realize that doesn't feel that great, because it's all about how you feel, what you're going to add back in. Because I've tried some random food dishes out at restaurants that were supposedly on my playing field, and then I found out otherwise. Like there might be some seed oils or something in the mix, and I'm super sensitive to seed oils. I start retaining water pretty quickly. Did you have a certain dish you would go to for comfort food when you were depressed? It was pizza almost all the time, Roy. Man, I was a pizza fiend. I love pizza from all over the country, any part of the country, didn't matter. Lousy pizza was good pizza. Frozen pizza was pizza. I mean, I was a pizzaholic, if there is such a thing. But my problem wasn't just I was a pizzaholic, is I would eat all the pizza. If I ordered a large pizza and I'm by myself, that would be gone within half an hour, 45 minutes. And then that's how you get to 435 pounds, pretty quickly. And then you go out to eat for ice cream, you get a strawberry shake at McDonald's, and it's embarrassing to think about, but that's how it works. Let's see. Moni, please move on. Yeah. Well, there's a way to move people on. And I don't know. I mean, I feel sorry for people that have to reach out and do stuff like that, but it's okay. I mean, sometimes I would hate to be in that situation myself, but there's truly nothing I can really do for anybody's situation like that. Well, yeah. Okay, gotta eat some more. Well, I understand you need help, Moody, but jumping on a live stream and asking for help isn't always the best way of doing it. There's nothing I can do. I am literally broke. I'm out here on YouTube just trying to make $2 or $3 in a day by doing a live stream and hopefully helping other people not be so miserable. Hey there, Red Rum. I appreciate you jumping in there. There we go. That should be taken care of. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I feel bad for people. I mean, if they're sincere and they really have problems, I mean, it's a horrible thing. But, there's a time and a place for everything. And right now is unfortunately not that time or place. I mean, if I was in that big of trouble, I think I would find other avenues than somebody's random live stream that most people aren't even looking at, because I only got 24 people in here watching, and I'm pretty sure most of you can see that. If I was going to do something like that, I'd be jumping in on a live stream that had like 400 or 500 people in it, and then doing that spiel. This is a bowl of about 1.5 pounds of 80/20 ground beef. I added about 4 to 5 eggs, like large eggs, like really good large brown eggs. A little bit of sriracha, just so it has a little kick to it. I added, the last time I made the exact same thing. Thank you. Donna, you didn't have to do that. You know that. Your family now. You guys have been awesome. You've been super helpful. That's fantastic. I like that. I do like seeing that, by the way. It makes me smile. But I don't come out here begging for money. I just truly want to help people. If you're struggling, you're morbidly obese, and you need to talk. I do these live streams often. Anybody can chime in here. I try to get even the negative people or the weird whatever happens in the stream that comes through. I try to give them, a little bit of attention, even if they're trying to be negative and hateful towards me. Because I truly do care about people, even the bad people. They need love too. So that's just where I stand on the whole you know, if you just suck as a person and the only thing you got better to do is just be hateful towards somebody, well, yeah, I pray for you. I have sympathy for people like that because they're out there. I used to be that guy. You know, when I was morbidly obese, I was hormonal. Everything made me upset. I was upset about every single little freaking thing. I thought the world was against me. The government was against me. The police were out to get me. The politicians were just looking to take. Then you just have to open the door and look outside and realize, wow, nothing's going on out here. I'm looking outside right now. There ain't nothing going on out there. There's no drama. There's nobody reaching their hand into my pocket and taking money. Just got to breathe. And we have to do that with ourselves. We have to reflect once in a while. We have to look at the problems that we're causing for ourselves. So we just move forward and try to, you know, focus on the little things. But yeah, when I was morbidly obese, I was super, super full of anxiety, depression, just hormonal responses towards just anything. And I wouldn't handle like being, because right now I'm in between seasons, so there's not a whole lot of work. And we're kind of broke, you know, but we got a little bit of money coming in here and there. You know, YouTube provides us right now, about every other month, it provides us about $144. That's it. At my current subscriber count and my current video rates and view rates and stuff like that. I'm not an expert YouTuber. I'm not gonna claim to be either. So, but yeah, I do hope to help people, you know, that might need help, or we can actually talk or do whatever. This is just kind of like we're hanging out, getting to know each other. You know, I'm from Alaska. You guys are from all over the place. Let's see. I didn't know you had. I know I didn't have to do that, John. I wanted to. I thank you, Donna. You're an amazing person. I appreciate you always dropping in randomly. I mean, it's just nice to see you. It's like we're having a video chat from far away. Susan says, how are you, mate? I'm doing pretty good. So what I got here, this is just a burger bowl. This is what I eat on the carnivore diet. This is what I eat to mainly maintain my current weight loss and my current weight. So I can eat this, you know, I can eat this same meal right here about once a day, and I won't gain any weight. You know, my weight's been fluctuating around the same 15 to 20 pounds for the last month or so. That's after losing about 130 to 120 pounds of weight. So I'm pretty happy no matter what. If my weight goes up a little bit, I'm happy. I mean, I don't like seeing it go up, but I've gotten far enough along with getting in better health and weight that I understand that some weight gain, most of the time, it's just this. That's all it is. It's a little bit extra water. So with a fast, I can get rid of a lot of these, and then I might gain a lot of these back, you know, depending on what I eat after I'm done fasting. Hey there. That looks like, is that from Russia? Is that a Russian flag? I think that is. But yeah, brother, how you doing, neighbor? Yeah, we're like neighbors. I mean, Russia is like, I say which way? It's like over that way. Like, I think it's like that. I think it's that way. I get my everything all screwed up when I live here. But yeah, Russia's really not far away from here. And no, you cannot see Russia from my house. I really wish Sarah Palin would have never said that. Oh my goodness. Now I like making these burger bowls because like it really retains all the fat. And it's not like just wandering off the side of my plate and spilling over. But I don't know for how many years that I would actually thoroughly drain the meat. I got to the point where I was actually putting the meat in a colander, and sometimes I would rinse it off to get even more fat out, and I didn't realize that was the exact opposite. Boops. Yeah, buddy. Boops. That's from Burb. That's an interesting handle, Burb. Wow. This is really good. It needs something, though. I'm missing something. We're going to have to go find it. I know what it is. It's over here. Uh-huh. Oh, I found it. Yep. Always needs more salt. Need more salt. Need more sodium. Well, this is the good stuff. This is the stuff that you want to put on your food. You don't want to put that I don't even have it anymore. I think we got rid of it. But that Morton's table salt, the white stuff, just stay away from that stuff. Buy the good quality salt. You don't go through it as fast as you think you will. And try out different types of quality salts that have, you know, healthy minerals in it. You don't want that overly processed salt. I mean, we're trying to get away from processed foods. Why would we want overly processed salt? Like this stuff here, look at that stuff. It's beautiful. I mean, it's almost pretty to look at. It's just big, giant salt crystals, and you're grinding them up. Super good, super nutritious, good stuff. Greetings from Russia. I figured that was a Russian flag. Right on, man. Let's see. Good luck to you and everything. I'm from Stalingrad. I'm lucky I can even pronounce that. My tongue's not working right today. I don't know why. I'm having a hard time. There was somebody else that came in earlier that had a interesting name, and I was trying to pronunciate it, and I was just like, man, my tongue was not working. So how is life over in Stalingrad? We're not allowed to talk about Ukraine on here, so I mean, how's life in Russia? I mean, I got friends that live over in Russia. They say it's pretty nice. I mean, I got friends that live in Ukraine too, and they say it's pretty nice where they're at. So, but we're not allowed to talk about the war. We get penalized. Let's see. I use leftover old Morton sea salt for cleaning cast iron. That's a good use for that crappy salt, the inexpensive salt. I am eating a Burb wants to know what I'm eating. I'm eating 80-20 ground beef, about 1.5 pounds with about 5 eggs. Yeah, I've added a little bit of sriracha to it, Tabasco sriracha. This stuff's pretty good. This isn't bad. It's not wrecking it. And I like Himalayan pink salt. I also use like Redmond's real salt, the organic garlic salt. Works pretty good for flavorings as well. I try not to get overzealous with the flavors anymore. Yeah, global peace would be great, Donna, except for our politicians are in a perpetual state of there has to be some sort of crisis, or they need to create a crisis. That's just how they move money around. I mean, it's just their way of moving money around. It's been going on since forever. I mean, if we go back and look at the history of the crown, for instance, you know, what happened in England and Germany and all the previous wars, it was literally either they were doing some of those wars just to try to restart the economy and get things going. A little bit is depopulation. Yeah, buddy, 5 eggs. That's not many eggs. I mean, I've been known to eat, you know, up to 20-something eggs in a day. And I know other people that eat up to, 32 eggs in a day. And all it's doing is resetting their testosterone levels. So an egg fast works incredibly well if you have low testosterone, low sex drive. It works for men and women, by the way. I found that out. I started asking around because I'm that kind of guy. I ask questions all the time, you know, because women's bodily chemistry is totally different than mine. But when you're morbidly obese, you're closely related to a woman's body chemistry at that time, because when you become morbidly obese, your hormones, your testosterone, everything is completely jumbled up and out of whack. I've even seen some people look more feminine when they become morbidly obese, which is crazy. Let's see. Do you only eat meat? For the most part, yeah. I eat about 90% meats and 98% meats and fats now. I was doing a 90-10 eating principle, which worked pretty well. I had a lot of carnivore type benefits, you know, the stuff that the carnivores claim. But I was having other issues, and so getting a little bit more strict did resolve a lot of problems. So yeah, I got a little bit more strict, and now that's all I really care about is eating meat. And I just share I don't tell people like, hey, this is what you need to do, but I'm just telling people like, hey, this is what doing this has done for me. And if I do that, then maybe somebody else will try it. Maybe somebody else will be like, that guy's freaking nuts, and I'm not going to try that. Oh, hey, man, thank you, Roy. Wow, you guys are freaking great today. I love that. Yeah, anybody else, there is an awesome way to support the channel. There's like a monthly cost for membership. It does give you some weird little perks. It gives you like highlighted things here. And I do a lot of live streams too. So, I mean, that might be fun. I personally have never been able to justify anything that you guys are doing for donations, by the way. I have never been able to watch a YouTube channel and be like, oh yeah, I want to give somebody money. So I don't even know. I don't even know how to thank you enough. And that's something I've always had a hard time with, is saying thank you, even for the most obvious things. And of course, my wife is bombing my stream with messages, and I can't read the whole thing. I don't even know how to read. I don't even know if I can do that in a live stream without cutting the stream. If I can do other functions in the phone, because it doesn't look like I have the controls to do that. Can I sing? I am not the person you want to be singing. I am not calm. I am anxious. I have been suffering a little bit of anxiety lately, a little bit of depression, because it's a slow time of year. Money's not coming in. And I'm not saying that to beg for money either. It's just money doesn't come in right now. It's just this, so I'm a truck driver here in Alaska. We have a thing called road restrictions, which comes on. It lasts, 2 to 3 weeks. Now, it lasts for a period of time until the ground has enough time to thaw out and actually harden up a little bit, and then we can run heavy loads. So we're all kind of anxiously waiting for May to get here, because that's when the ground thaws out pretty good, at sometime in May. And then we can start running around, hauling equipment, moving loads of gravel, heavier freight, and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to sing Taylor Barham. I don't know how to pronounce that. Barham. So right now, the foods that I look forward to, and this is from Firan Rengent, the foods that I look forward to mainly is just ground beef and steak are two of my favorite things. I buy these big giant 10-pound chubs of meat, of ground beef, 80/20 burger meat at Costco. They're about $29.99 for 10 pounds, which is a great deal for Alaska prices, by the way. And then I break that up into burger patties. And this I broke down mainly for the wife. I left a couple random ones in there, not just burger patties, like all burger patties. But that way, if she wanted to make something for the kids or something like that with ground beef, it would be easier. Taco night is still a thing. Even though I don't eat the taco shells, you can still eat the majority of the taco ingredients on the carnivore diet and be doing yourself pretty good. Now, lettuce is one thing I won't eat. If I eat lettuce, spinach, I can actually eat celery and it doesn't create this side effect. But if I eat lettuce, spinach, kale, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts, one of the side effects I get from that is sugar cravings. Is I immediately want to run off and get in the pantry and start getting into the candy and the Cheez-Its and anything carb related. It's crazy. I never thought lettuce would be a problem. And when you look at lettuce, it's the most unhealthy type healthy food, if that makes any sense, because lettuce really isn't that healthy. It's mainly water. There's not a whole lot of nutrients in there. It's just lettuce. But it created I didn't notice, because I was trying to eat a salad at one point of this weight loss journey and be healthy. And I'm a glutton, so I eat lots. So it doesn't matter if it's salad. So I filled up on about 5 bowls this size, 5 of these big bowls of salad, and just kept eating until I thought I was full. And as soon as I was done eating that, I was like, boom, I was in the pantry, searching for cookies and just nonsense. I was like, why is that? Why am I feeling this way? And then I just had to start writing it all down. And that's how I've kept track of a lot of my cravings and tendencies. And a lot of it's emotional. Plants don't want to be eaten, so they produce toxins called oxalates. Yeah, oxalates are not fun, especially when they turn into kidney stones. That's not fun either. We're eating 80/20 burger meat with 5 eggs. Hey there. Robin showed up today. Bowl of meat. Yeah, I made so it's just 80/20 burger meat that I got from Costco. I added 5 really big brown eggs. Also, those were purchased at Costco. And cooked those all up in a cast iron skillet. And we've been talking ever since, Robin. I thank you for joining. Yeah, sugar, man. Sugar is so horrible. I mean, I don't even use sugar in my morning coffee anymore. I was addicted, like many people here in the United States. I was addicted to, I can't remember the name brand, but that coffee creamer. Man, that flavored coffee creamer, the French vanilla, the hazelnut. And that's made with soybean products and soybean oil and vegetable oil. And we're putting that in our coffee. Oh, you don't even think about it because it tastes so good. They got the sugar ratio, figured out with the flavor overtone. So you get that nasally, type of fresh vanilla or hazelnut sensation going on. And it hits a little nerve back here and it just makes you feel good. And I never noticed what the ingredients were until I started losing weight. Until I started actually reading the ingredients. Now, I read ingredients for many years. I just never really put two and two together like, oh, that does that, and that's why I feel like crap. Okay. But then the high fructose corn syrup, that's in everything now. So that eliminates like 90% of the center aisles of every store. That eliminates most of the products found at a gas station. High fructose corn syrup is in almost everything. It's nuts. And getting rid of that is just the first step. Learning how to stay away from it and recognize it is the second step. And I think throughout the research of losing weight and sugar, I found out there's about 50 different ways of them to word sugar. So there's 50 different words out there that they use on the back of packages. Maltodextrin, that's one word. Maltose, that's another word for sugar. There's so many words for sugar. And they do that on purpose. They do that on purpose so they can sneak it in there and then give you some bullcrap explanation on the front saying that this is heart healthy or this is this kind of healthy. But they're putting sugar in a lot of stuff. It's nuts. Let's see. Have you read the ingredient label on that Coffee Mate creamer? Yeah, I have. You're talking to it, Daria. Coffee Mate creamer is so bad for us. It was sad. So the first go around with removing the coffee creamer, because me and my ex-wife used to drink like that stuff by the gallon. I mean, we'd buy the big giant container of it and we'd go through like one or two of those every week. And we'd sometimes fill a coffee cup about halfway full of that creamer, pour a splash of coffee on top. It just seemed like we were drinking more of the creamer. And at that time, me and my ex-wife were gaining a lot of weight. So she just up out of nowhere. I'm not sure where the information came from. It might have came from her dad, but she just up and stopped drinking the coffee creamer. And I mean, like 25 pounds dropped off of that lady in like 5 minutes. It was quick. I was like, holy crap, you're losing weight. And she's like, oh, all I did was get rid of the coffee creamer. And I was like, wow, that's good news. Huh. I had no idea. I can't afford Carnivore without a big freezer. Roy, Carnivore is extremely affordable. You don't need a big freezer. I was the same way. When I first started losing weight, one of my biggest excuses, and this goes back to the excuses a lot of us use for losing weight, people that are trying to quit drugs, people that are trying to quit smoking or not be an alcoholic, is there's 1,001 excuses to not do something. And we need to flip that script around. We need to change it. Okay, I need to come up with at least 5 good reasons why I can do this. Now, the carnivore diet is extremely affordable, especially if you're doing mainly ground beef. I try to avoid chicken, turkey, even though it's on the carnivore plane. But if you're trying to lose weight, it all depends on what you're looking for. So I'll eat bacon. I'll eat a lot of ground beef, $2.99 a pound. This meal right here is less than $5. So $5 per day. But you don't need a freezer that store food like forever. You just need access to a decent supply of whatever meat it is, and you just package it and store it as you get it and need it. So I'm usually focused on 1 week at a time. And now when the pandemic happened, we were all, prepping, our pantries. We were trying to have sustainable type foods for our pantry, because after all, the whole country was going to go up in flames, and it hasn't yet. But and how I got to be the heaviest is I started eating out of that pantry. So I was eating all of my prepping pantry food, and a lot of it was super unhealthy, overly processed foods, very little nutrition, even though it had some calories for value. That was about it. But I was eating that crap, and that's what made me so freaking fat right away. I mean, besides that and the added stress. But my excuse was always like, oh, I can't afford to eat steaks. I can't afford to eat all of just meat. And the same thing was for vegetables too. I was like, oh, I can't afford to buy all these vegetables. They just rot and we throw them out. That still happens. I'm happy not having to buy a lot of vegetables now because they're just going to rot and we're going to throw them out. They don't freeze well. Most of them don't. Most of them aren't even good for us. So it's just way easier for me to buy meat, process, do a little process by myself here at home, package it how I want, and then I put it in the freezer. And I don't take up much room in the freezer with the meat that I eat for the week. The hard part is just hoping the family doesn't eat it all because they like it too. Let's see. Kirkland bacon from Costco is delicious. Kirkland bacon is not too bad. Now, depending on where you're at and what type of, carnivore type eating you're trying to do, you gotta just watch your ingredients on your bacons, because some of them are full of stuff. Other bacons, not so bad. For the most part, I don't really worry about what's in most bacons, but some people have an issue with some of the ingredients in bacon. So just pay attention to your own self. Let's see. How are you doing, Felix? Is Felix annoyed today? How you doing, Felix? You doing all right? Let's see. I find I spend a lot less now that I'm on carnivore. Yeah, I'm spending a lot less money. I mean, seriously, I spend like $5 to $10 a day when I used to spend on an average day. I was spending anywhere from $50 to over $120 per day just on food. And I don't do that anymore. So it's so much more fun eating this way. No, I'm not tweaking there. Jose Rodriguez and Felix, I am doing well. Just a bit tired for today. I've been playing chess tournament earlier today. Oh, that's a fun game. The wife and I, we just recently finished up the Queen's Gambit. I don't know if you've watched that on Netflix. That was a really good series. It was educational. I got my girls interested in chess, so it's been fun, playing chess with them. The unfortunate part is I'm pretty darn good at playing chess, and I was beating my kids in like 4 or 5 moves, and I was trying not to pay attention to the board when they were doing stuff, and so when you beat your kids that fast and that easy at chess, it kind of beats them out of the fact that they want to learn chess anymore because they don't like losing. Let's see. I used to love playing chess with my dad. Yeah, chess is a good game to play because it makes you think. I mean, if you can think at least 4 to 5 moves ahead and you have a basic strategy when you come out, just moving your first piece. As soon as you start, you have a basic strategy on how you're going to proceed and you stick with that. You can usually have a pretty decent game, even if you do lose. It's a fun game. How are your energy levels at? A small amount of carb is important. I do not like carbs anymore. My energy levels are through the roof. I sleep a normal schedule now when my sleep schedule used to be screwed up. The only time my sleep gets screwed up is if I should have some carbs. So if I were to eat some carbs right now, within an hour, I'd be laying down in bed until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And right now it's a little after 1 o'clock here in Alaska. So yeah, carbs will throw me for a loop. And that's carbs from anything. Could be from fruit. And it'll just throw me for a loop. So I've eliminated fruit. I mean, fruit's been a problem. It was also a problem for, how it comes out the other end too, because I was having some issues there. So I talked to my doctor and some nutritionists about it, and they just said avoid fruits because it does that. It does something weird to my bowel movements. So I need to not do it. Can you talk about becoming fat adaptive? That's something I don't know that much about. Like a lot of my journey, I don't focus on the overall science of it, but I focus on, trying to tweak your fat intake. That wasn't easy. I had a hard time with that. I mean, for starters, I wasn't into the carnivore diet when I started. I mean, I didn't think it was, I thought it was, I've said this before, so bear with me here. I thought carnivore was vegan voodoo, just on the other end of the spectrum. Because vegan voodoo comes with its own stuff, vegetarian type voodoo as well. And then you got the keto and the Atkins stuff, and it's so hard to understand. There's so much to understand because as soon as you start researching this stuff, especially on YouTube, you're going to be hit with about 30 contrary videos about anything you're looking into. So if you're looking into a meat-based diet, you're going to get hit with a lot of vegan sarcastic nonsense and a lot of vegan bashing type videos saying that, oh, you're not supposed to eat that, this or the other, this is poison. And then eventually you'll come full circle and you'll wind up getting suggested short videos about how water's not healthy. You're not drinking your water correctly. That was when I was threw the phone down. I was done. I was like, you all suck. Everybody. I was like, everybody out here sucks. It doesn't matter what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get healthy. I don't need to read between the lines. I need to just figure this out. And then that was the answer, figuring it out for yourself. And I figured out that vegetables, were causing me a lot of problems. So I eliminated about 98% of the vegetables out of my life. I was still eating some fruits at that time. And those fruits were creating problems in my life. So I had to start removing fruits. It got extremely difficult. And at the same time, I was having all these digestive issues because I was in the process of figuring out which fruits to remove and which vegetables to remove and so on. So I was I already have a slow digestive tract. So any fiber at all can create constipation in me. So I try to avoid fiber, stuff that doesn't naturally digest in the gut. Everything in this bowl naturally digests, unless I eat the spoon or I eat the bowl. But everything in this bowl will digest and either be absorbed and the nonsense will be removed. And you don't poop near as often on the carnivore diet, which is something I like. And it's not because it's just packing inside of me, because it doesn't. It all comes out. It just comes out differently. So if I was eating a fiber-based diet, I'm pooping all the time, like maybe 3-4 times a day. If I eat a fiber-based diet, that's as long as it's not making me constipated. So yeah, you just got to figure out yourself. I used to be vegetarian. It's really hard to adapt, especially after having been a meat eater my whole life. It is hard transitioning to any lifestyle that you're not accustomed to is hard. And I think that's why a lot of people fail when they start losing weight, because the first thing that you think of when you're eating a standard American trash diet, overly processed foods, the stuff from the center aisle of the grocery store, you're eating cereals, you're eating oatmeal, you're eating just all kinds of stuff full of sugar, potato chips, nachos. And then all of a sudden you transition to any type of specific diet. It's hard. It takes a while. It takes a while to transition. I don't care which 20 directions, because I could lose weight 15 different ways. And I can only manage to maintain weight loss doing it this way. That's the only reason I do it this way, is because it works for me. Because I can overeat meat. If I want to overeat meat and I'm going to maintain my current weight, I'm not going to start gaining weight. Like if I was eating, Taco Bell and then I confuse it with McDonald's and then go out to eat at Denny's and then Golden Corral, I'd screw myself up. So this just makes it simple. It keeps it simple. It's delicious. I can make it how I want. I miss the days of having quality bathroom trips. So those days do come back. They can come back. That's the one thing I appreciated about this lifestyle, this way of eating, is that I had some, and I don't mind talking about poop any given day of the week, but I had some of those poops that I used to have when I was like 13 years old. And you almost want to turn around with your cell phone and just take a picture of it. You're like, I am proud of you. I don't know how you happened, but I am proud of you. And yeah, it's like you almost want a high five from mom for not doing it in your diaper. Yeah, that's a big change, Roy. Talk about how every little poop carnivore experience, and even the vegans talk about poop a lot because they have pooping issues too. So you can find these poop conversations in any type of lifestyle, because pooping is just one of those things we do. It's natural, and whenever you change from one diet to another, your poop's going to change. So if I were to go from a carnivore diet back to a sad, standard American diet, yeah, my poops would change again. I'd have chronic diarrhea. I'd have random constipation because my body is fighting the transition. It's not used to it. So when your body's not used to something, it throws off all these random signals. Just like when you start losing weight, I had tons of random signals dropping in, saying like, oh, I want I want to go to the convenience store and get a freaking cheese Danish and order a bunch of granola bars and crap. And yeah, you want to drink a Red Bull, those kind of signals. Because when you're used to doing something, your body always tends to want to go back to whatever it was it's used to. Let's see here. I was very hormonal, spiking emotions, and led to heavy drinking. Oh, yeah, heavy drinking. That sucks. I don't drink anymore. I stay completely away from alcohol these days. Are you against seasoning your foods with spices? Absolutely not, Robert. I am not against seasoning food because everybody has different reactions to different seasonings. Like I use a lot of Himalayan salt. I use Redmond's salt with garlic. There's a Redmond's organic seasoning or something like that that works really well. Kind of reminds me of ramen noodles, the way it smells, but I haven't been able to find it here, so I have to order it on Amazon or somebody's got to send me some. But yeah, I love that stuff. But I have eliminated pepper, but this is just me. I eliminated black pepper just for a period of time. I think I'd be safe putting it back in because I haven't noticed the difference not having it, and that's what it's all about. It's the carnivore diet. For a period of time, you just want to eliminate everything. You just want to take it out. Try figuring out just the meat to fat ratio, how it's going to digest in your system, and then work on adding in things after 30 days. You can start adding in those little things like add some pepper in next week, or add in a little bit of this sauce or that sauce, and try that. Because I'm not against using sauces either. What I am against is taking a bottle of ranch dressing and drowning vegetables. No different with your meat. You don't want to drown it in barbecue sauce. Because that's counterproductive. That's how you screw it up. It sounds ridiculous either way you look at it. Glad to hear that, Felix. How did you go from sad diet to carnivore? It was not overnight, Vanessa. Absolutely not. That's the furthest thing. And everybody that's I've watched try go 100% right away, they have a hard time. They usually revert right back to where they came from, because that's the easiest way to go. Because when you're trying to transition to anything different, you have to recognize a lot of factors, and most of them are up here. Most of our problems with food comes from in our brain. It has nothing to do with the food we eat. It has to do with why we eat those foods. So the whys come from how we feel. I would eat food because of all emotions. Didn't matter what emotion it was. I had specific foods for each emotion. Pizza kind of covered all the emotions because it was always there, when I was happy, sad, or glad. So I was always excited when I saw pizza show up. That's just one for instance. And like I said, I started losing weight about 20 weeks before I got involved with the carnivore diet. And the reason I got into the carnivore diet is because fasting for the rest of my life was not sustainable. So I was trying to find an eating strategy of food, because I like food. We all like food. And this is a way I can eat food, not feel bad for what I eat, and I can maintain the current weight loss that I have and potentially lose more weight, become more motivated to lose more weight. Because once you lose a lot of weight, you naturally become active. Like, I got no problem getting up and doing the dishes. Before, I would just ignore that was there, and my wife would have to handle it. I feel bad for that, but that was kind of how it worked. Let's see what else here. I bought a standard McDonald's breakfast today, and it was $14, bro. Run away from McDonald's. Now, I did an experiment one week where I was eating the McDonald's burger patties. Well, I did one week where I ate the burger patties with cheese, and then I did another week where I ate just the burger patties. I did not feel great on either of those weeks. The week I felt the worst was when I had the cheese. So I researched McDonald's meat quality. They are the bottom of the barrel as far as meat quality. A lot of people won't even sell their meat to McDonald's because the quality is so low, which they put in their burgers, that it's just scary. It is considered all beef, so that's a good thing. But I was concerned about cross-contamination with seed oils, vegetable oils, and soybean oils. And that's where the cheese became a problem. So the McDonald's cheese is just barely, sitting above the approval rating for actual cheese. And because it is a processed food, the McDonald's cheese. It's not like actual cheese. So there's vegetable oil, there could be soybean oil, and other stuff added into their cheese. And I was just super unhealthy feeling when I ate their burger patties along with the cheese. The next week I just ate the burger patties. I didn't feel great, and I feel amazing after eating a bowl of this stuff right here, just 80-20 ground beef. Is there oxalate in coffee? It's something I wouldn't even worry about, because you're not eating the bean. I mean, if you were to sit down and eat a bowl of coffee beans, I'd worry about oxalates in the coffee, even if they are in there. I don't know if there is. But if you're just drinking it, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Years ago, it came out, meat at Taco Bell, 88% silicone. Now, I did some research on the meat at Taco Bell, too. I don't believe that is true. I believe there was some, silica found, which silica is basically sand, a little bit of sand. There was also some fibers. I can't remember what they call it right off the top of my head, like cellulose type fibers in the meat. Overall, it wasn't horrible bad, but I mean, it's definitely not an avenue I'd go down. I wouldn't even consider it in an option, a carnivore type option, Taco Bell meat. I just don't think it's quality enough. I don't even know what technically an oxalate is, but I know when I was eating spinach, which has oxalates, I was also eating nuts and a lot of other vegetables that I was told to eat, by a nutritionist for a period of time, and those were foods I was told to eat. So I upped my spinach, my vegetable intake, my nut intake, and all of a sudden I got gifted with kidney stones. I was not thrilled. That's when I started learning about apple cider vinegar, because apple cider vinegar really worked to help me regulate those kidney stones. And ever since then, I've been kind of hooked on apple cider vinegar, because once you have kidney stones and you try to pee out a kidney stone, I tell you what, you're gonna try to figure out a way not to, because that was horrible, painful. And then usually it takes, but like I said, even weight loss, people getting started on weight loss, most of them don't take it seriously until they get issued a diagnosis. And that diagnosis could be anything. It could be sleep apnea. It could be obesity. You could have MS. You could have some thyroid type issue. Hyperthyroidism, that's a thing. Diabetes. And without those diagnoses, people don't really consider it. Like, oh, I'm doing just fine. I don't know. I mean, unless, it's just like alcoholism. Unless you've been in the slammer too many times, you're not going to really recognize that you're an alcoholic until, the judge finally sits you down and says, guess what? You're going to jail or you're going to get sober, one or the other. So that's no different than losing weight and trying to figure out your health, is you have to actually recognize it. We all want to know something. I missed something. Not off the rails, but is your sex drive improved? Yes, Roy, absolutely. The sex drive improves pretty quickly. And it improved with the egg fast. So I did a couple different egg fasts with nothing but eggs. The first one, I didn't eat a lot of eggs, but I didn't thoroughly research the fast. That was my mistake. So it was 3 eggs for 5 days for each meal. And then I researched egg fasting and different ways of egg fasting. And I found out I could do the same 5-day egg fast, get the same results, but I wouldn't be a horrible, miserable freaking cow because I wasn't eating enough. So I could eat more eggs and I could have incredible benefits. Not only that, my testosterone levels were leveling out and sometimes a little too through the roof. You can ask the wife, she's not here, but I was chasing her around for quite a while. And it was kind of like the experience was similar to that of sex drive of a high school kid at times. So, it was fun for both of us for a little while. But it does kind of level out. You do find your happy medium. You're not trying to get overly stimulated with all these extra nutrients either. Let's see. Eating a bowl of ground hamburger. Yes, I'm eating a bowl of ground hamburger. It's got 5 eggs in it, a little bit of sriracha. Most obese people are insulin resistant, which means your pancreas is overproducing insulin. Yeah, thankfully, I don't think I was either one of those, but I was definitely morbidly obese, and I was a cranky little bear. I had a problem. Spinach is really high in oxalates. Yes, hello. Hello. I can't see that far. Flexion? It says flexion. Hello to you. I'm Big John here in Anchorage, Alaska, saying hello back. Let's see. I hope your day is going well. So far, it is. Thanks for dropping in. My food's getting cold. I get talking a lot, and I forget all about that I have food here. But I do enjoy these conversations, even though I should be eating food and busy putting together videos and stuff like that. John at one time was 286 pounds, and my blood sugar was way over, holy cow, way over 400. Huh. That's scary. Oh, hey there, Flexion. I appreciate that. Yeah, new subscribers are always welcome. Pretty much I talk about carnivore. Lost the feed there for a second. Okay. Might as well take a second and let this thing catch up with itself. Pretty much on my channel, I talk about carnivore related topics, weight loss topics, fasting that I'm doing. I try to do a weekly update over the weekend about my weight loss. I have been creating extra videos on my channel about Alaska. I like to show people the Alaskan neighborhoods, talk a little bit about the neighborhoods, basically on a drive-through type thing. So this last video, I set up 2 cameras in my car. I got one camera facing forward so you guys can see out the window. The other camera's facing back at me. So I might have a little third-person image down in the corner or something like that. But then we can just do the, talk about, what I'm looking at as I'm driving around, because there's some pretty interesting stuff here in some of these Anchorage neighborhoods. And people that don't live here in Alaska really do. They ask me a lot, especially the outsiders, like, how do you live up there? What does it look like at this time of year? What does it look like at that time of year? And that's what the extra videos are about. It's about just showing people around the area what it looks like at different times of year. I can create content around both, my weight loss journey, my health, goals and what fitness goals, whatever, and how I'm doing it. And I'm just doing that. I'm just doing that around my experience. So I just talk about what experience I've had, relationships I've had with doing things different ways, because, carnivore wasn't anything I was interested in. It's just something that I kind of stumbled into accidentally, but I stumbled into it the same way many carnivores, even the big, huge carnivore channels, stumbled into it. They started off losing weight. They started off fasting. They started doing a ketogenic lifestyle. They started doing a KetoVore lifestyle. And then all of a sudden they're doing a carnivore lifestyle. And then they're like, holy cow, everything about me has changed. And I have to say that that's how most of those people got here, was they started down that ladder of fasting and transitioning through keto and all the way to carnivore. And when you get down through the keto part, you usually have 2 different directions you can go. You can become, more dedicated to carnivore meats and fats, or you can go the latter. You can go the other way. You go to vegetables. Either way you go, I don't care. As long as you're getting healthy, that's all that matters to me. I don't care if anybody's a vegan. Just don't be cranky. I mean, I know some cranky carnivores too that crank about other stuff all the time. It's like, well, just calm down, man. Your hormones are leveling out, dude. Just chill. What people should be doing is become a carnivore, because that is the only way to get your diabetes in remission. Well, it's not the only way, Donna, but it is a very good way of doing it. I can't disagree there. I did have some vegan friends that figured out how to do that on the vegan side, but it's harder. You got to science the hell out of it. The carnivore, doing it with meats and fats, it kind of does it for itself. I'm sure, Donna, you've experienced this too. You don't have to over science it to figure out the benefits of, lowering your insulin and your diabetes, and everything just self-regulates. But yes, lots of people have tried other ways and it didn't work for them either. That's why they tend to swing on over this way, start doing the more meats and fats. It does work. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, but there are other ways, and I don't like to just slam the door on that, because some people have found other ways to do it. It's just a lot harder. And I don't like to overcomplicate it. So it's like, why try like 21 different ways? I mean, unless you're just dead set against eating meat, that's up to whoever. I mean, if they don't want to eat meat because of, religious beliefs or family beliefs, that's up to them. But they're missing out. It's okay. Meat's pretty good. Oh, that's scary when your doctor, and that's a problem. Well, when you know, when a lot of these doctors go through med school, they're really not focused much on nutrition. They're focused on how to prescribe, it seems like. And it really all depends on the doctor too, because if, like my doctor that I have now, he's constantly wanting to learn something new. That's what he's good at. He's wanting to learn something new. He's wanting to learn more about his patients, and I'm one of his patients. But he takes time to learn about, you know, hey, what am I doing? You know, what's my situation? Because, you know, for how many times have I gone into my doctor and not told them the truth about what's going on? And he can just look at the numbers or look at the blood work and he can see what I'm doing. You know, doctors aren't stupid. And they've been told, I don't know how many times, like, oh yeah, I'm eating better, doc. I'm eating some salad. I'm eating some fruit. I'm going out for exercise. And then we check your blood pressure. And it's all over the place. It's like, well, okay, you're saying all this, but I got this here for numbers. And then I look at your blood work and your blood work's trash. So I can't believe anything the patient's saying anymore. So that's why it's really important to take notes before you go to the doctor, if you're having problems, especially. Because if you can't communicate with your doctor well and your doctor's lost trust in you, chances are, you know, you're going to have a bad doctor-patient relationship. And that's a hard one, especially when they don't understand carnivore type lifestyle, low carb, no carb lifestyles. And thankfully, my doctor does. You know, he looked at the numbers. He asked me what I was doing. And in the very beginning, he did the typical, you know, side-eye doctor eye roll, like, oh, another one of these. You know, this guy thinks he's going to fix everything with doing this or that. But he did the same eye roll when it came to me talking about fasting. But the nice part about that conversation that time, because that was early on in the weight loss journey, he looked me straight in the eye. He said, he's like, dude, is this sustainable? Can you sustain this for the long term? And I looked at him at that time. I believed I could because I was on a roll. You know, I was losing weight. Just like you're on a galloping horse. But what happens if your horse gets thirsty? It's got to stop, take a break. And I had to think about that. So about 3 weeks after I had that doctor's appointment, it's where I woke up. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah, my horse is going to slow down at some point. And I need to figure out a sustainable way, you know, to keep the weight off besides just not eating food. Because just not eating food isn't the best way of losing weight. So that's what brought me down keto, KetoVore, and carnivore type road. Carbs to me are toxic. Yeah, nowadays, carbs are just not, I really don't crave them that often. A chip here or there, maybe. But yeah, just sitting there and eating an entire bag of chips would not happen. It's just not something I'm into. Like last night when we had that Costco pizza, I took one bite and I forgot to take the cheese off the top, the first bite. And it's just a tip. So I had a little bit of the bread there, and it was just, oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. I was like, oh, we're not doing that again. So I started stripping the cheese off the top of the pizza. Oh, this is like half of what was here. But yes, it is a lot of meat. This is kind of what I eat for one meal a day. Now I need to start lifting weights again. I really need to. I need to get out and start. I got weights here. I need to start picking them up and putting them down. Let's see, Todd. Let's see, you wanted to know how I cooked my eggs when I did the fast. Now, the first go around when I did my egg fast is I was hard boiling the eggs just because I'm a truck driver. It was easier to get a small Tupperware and put 3 eggs in there for lunch. So I could eat 3 eggs in the morning, and then I would eat 3 eggs for lunch, and then I'd have 3 more eggs when I got home. The hardest part for me was having enough eggs for the entire week. So, along with going to work too. So you got to kind of plan your week out a little bit. Something else I've done is I've actually pickled some eggs. That's amazing. Pickle your own eggs. That way you always have hard-boiled eggs just sitting in your fridge. Well, if you do 2 or 3 containers, you can actually rotate them out that way, because you want to leave them in the fridge for about 7 days, and they're so freaking good. Roy says something's a genetic problem. Let's see, what about secondary issues such as vision, sinus pressure, mental clarity? It all improved since you lost weight. A lot of that improved more once I started the carnivore diet. Mental clarity, absolutely. The ability to maintain conversations and not be hormonal during conversations has improved 100%. As sinus pressure drops drastically, any type of pressure. So sinus pressures are all in the same category as inflammation. So inflammation anywhere in the body. So if you got inflamed sinuses, you're going to have inflammation somewhere else. So once you get that under control, and a lot of that's just from seed oils, vegetable oils, high fructose corn syrup, sometimes natural sugars, sometimes like black pepper. A lot of seeds can create inflammation in the body that are just unforeseen until you actually remove them for a period of time. And then once you're breathing better, thinking better, seeing better, hearing, I can even hear better than I could before. So so much improves. And it just seems, when you first start hearing about it, you're like, oh, this guy's freaking nuts. Yeah, he doesn't hear any better because of the way he eats. Yeah, I do. I can see better too. I used to have eye floaters. Well, I didn't know that eye floaters were caused from eating too many carbs and high fructose corn syrup and other sugary products. And those little black spots, if you're suffering from little black spots, get rid of the sugar, dude. Stop it. Stop it with all the extra carbs. You want to get rid of those spots, because the only thing that happens with those stupid little black eye floaters that float around is they get worse. They turn into something later on. I'm not a doctor, so I can't speculate exactly what, but I can tell you it's not good. Especially if you're reliant on your eyesight for your job, like you're an airline pilot or you're a truck driver or you're somebody that has to read text like really, really fast. It's really hard to read when you got these little black globs floating around in your eyesight. So yeah, you can totally prevent it by getting rid of the sugars. I'm a trucker too. Yeah, I drive truck here in Alaska. I drove truck all over the lower 48, every single state down there. The only state I haven't driven a truck in so far is Hawaii. And I was planning on doing that, but I don't think I'll be able to make it because I kind of settled down. I'm happy here in Alaska, and Hawaii's got their own issues. They got a lot of issues going on in Hawaii. But I would like to visit someday. But I don't want to visit the touristy side of the island. I want to go to the other side of the island where the cool Hawaiians hang out. The locals, the ones that actually know the place. Let's see. Has your skin changed since you started the diet? Absolutely. My skin started changing right away. Just removing sugars and all the unhealthy, overly processed crap. Your skin changes quite a bit. Donna's been around for a while. She could probably attest to how much clearer my skin is from when I started. I was swollen all the time. Now I'm well hydrated, so my cheeks are a little bit rosy. I'm getting old, so I got bags, I got wrinkles. My forehead's got wrinkles. I'm a little glossy because I have a metabolism now. That's normal. But the dandruff, a lot of that is easily managed. I used to have really bad dandruff because, we all get dandruff here in Alaska, especially this time of year, until it starts, becoming a little bit more humid outside. But at the end of the winter is when we start getting dandruff. But last summer, I had no dandruff at all. I had no beard flaking going on or nothing like that. Roy, there are several good doctors on YouTube to discuss the benefits of carnivore diet. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chafee, and Dr. Sean Baker. They are all very amazing doctors to try to cherry pick information from. Pretty much if you have a question, you can kind of just type it into the YouTube search bar, and one of these doctors will show up. Dr. Boz is another one. When you look back into Dr. Boz's history, she did an amazing job keeping her mom alive. I believe her mom had cancer or something like that. She was pretty sick for a long time, and she did some amazing stuff, to help her mom live a lot longer. I mean, bless her soul. She went through a lot, and a lot of these online doctors have been through a lot. Let's see. My skin has improved so much, and I don't sweat the way I used to. Now, the nice part, the one fun part that most people don't believe is that you lose the bad breath. A lot of the bad breath goes away. The only time I get bad breath is if I add onions or garlic or some sort of, something in there. Now, when I was getting into the fruit, I was having a lot of bad breath from the fruit, from the sugars in the fruit. But when you're just eating meats and fats, the bad breath starts going away. The crotch odor goes away. The foot odor goes away. There's something else that goes away. Oh, if you got any funk going on behind the ears, that smell goes away. I'm missing something. Yeah, armpit odor. There it is. Armpit odor disappears. Yeah, it's like, really? Huh, all these years I've been putting on and buying deodorant and all this smelly crap just so I wouldn't stink. And it was because I was eating crap food. Yeah, if you want to smell better, just eat meat. Eat meat fats. You're gonna smell better. And then if you talk to a vegan about it, they're gonna say like, oh, you're gonna be stinking the holy high hell, and you're gonna have fat just secreting from all your orifices. Well, that's not true. I mean, that's unfortunate. When I was a vegan, I had body odor because there's a lot of sugars involved. There's a lot of plant-based issues going on there. And like with some of the vegetables, it seeps out your pores. You smell like it. With meat, I don't smell like meat. I mean, I feel safe when walking in the woods and around bears. I don't feel like they're going to chase me down because of what I just ate. Let's see, in the future, will you consider doing podcasts maybe with some other people about carnivore and other stuff? I have done that already, Felix. The hard part for me is I live in Alaska. Our time zones are just so weird. So it's hard for me to negotiate certain times. Let's see. Your skin has changed dramatically. I thank you there, Linda. Let's see. Donna Roy. I'm in 9th week. Initially, it was difficult, but I wrote it out. And now I have no issues with it. I might have missed part of the conversation there. Oh, it's so good. I mean, I get it. When people first start the carnivore diet, even I was upset for a period of time. I was like, I don't want to just eat that hamburger anymore. Or I don't want to just eat meat anymore. And that's part of our body wanting to revert back to easy life. Because the path of least resistance is exactly what our body wants. That's what our mind wants. It doesn't want to overthink the equation. It wants to go right back to whatever garbage you were eating. And that's why we fall off the wagon. We fall off the wagon so incredibly quick. But with the carnivore diet, I can just simply eat through the cravings. And that was something that a lot of carnivores told me to do. So if you start craving like unhealthy foods, just find you some meat and eat through the craving. And the same thing I used to do with water as well, is I used to drink through a lot of cravings. So if I was craving food when I was out driving my truck around, like I want to pull over and get a cheese Danish or get something sugary, Little Debbie snack cake, I just grab some water and I just pound the water down and that craving would go away. That was, 2 easy ways of dealing with cravings. Wait, so if I'm correct, being carnivore is where you only eat meat, correct? Yeah, for the most part, the carnivore diet is just 100% meats and fats, stuff like that. If you want to get super technical, yeah, you can kick out like every little aspect, but you don't have to be like 100% and get the majority of benefits from the carnivore diet. But yeah, you definitely want to kick out the carbs. Carbs are freaking dangerous. I mean, I used to be a carbaholic too. A lot of pasta, a lot of pizza, a lot of bread. All right. Hey, you're welcome there, Kenny. Hopefully we answered your question. I am 7 days in the carnivore. How long after starting did you notice improvements in health? Well, I was already losing weight for a period of like 20 to 22 weeks before I started carnivore. So I had a lot of stuff mixed in there. So it wasn't like I was just starting at 435 and then I started the carnivore diet. So I had a lot of stuff, mixed signals going on there. But I started noticing a lot of the, voodoo type talk, that you just don't believe when you first start carnivore. Like, hey, this improves or that improves. Like the bad breath or the armpit odor or the foot stinking and just the dental issues becoming better, the better eyesight. Well, about 2 to 3 weeks into, doing a real piss poor job at the carnivore diet. I'm not even talking like, oh yeah, I'm just 100%. I'm just eating nothing but meats and fats. I had a hard time. And so don't many people when they get started, because you're trying to figure out, your fat your fat ratio and your protein ratio. You're just trying to level out things, because if you have too much fat, you're going to have diarrhea. And if you have not enough fat, you might be, somewhat constipated, or at least feel like you're constipated. And for a guy like me, I got a slow digestive tract anyways. So if I eat this meal, it's going to take 3 to 4 days before this meal decides it's going to go out the other end. So I got to watch what I'm putting in my system. If I put in like a lot of fiber, yeah, I'll be bound up for a long time. But since you absorb the majority of meats and fats, it gets absorbed into your body. You're using the fats as energy. The protein gets, sacked away wherever it needs to go for whatever. And then the rest is just excreted. So it just works. I mean, I can't argue with it. It works surprisingly well. But yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks, you might start seeing some noticeable benefits. Dandruff was one that was pretty quick. It went away. Now, some people have experienced, excessive hair growth because it changes your hormone levels and stuff like that. Are high triglycerides not an issue? I haven't worried about any of that stuff. I haven't worried about triglycerides, LDLs, cholesterol levels. And for a period of time, I was hyper focused on the blood work, and I've gotten a couple different blood panels done, and I even tried to force some bad blood panels. I seriously, I tried to force some bad blood panels. I was eating just nonstop frickin' eggs and bacon, eggs and bacon, eggs and bacon. I'm supposed to die. I'm supposed to have a heart attack, right? We've been taught that for how many frickin' years of our life? Eggs and bacon, tons of salt. I mean, I was trying to force bad blood panels. Yeah, I'm that kind of stupid, but my blood panels came back looking freaking fabulous. My blood pressure was going down. I eat tons of salt, guys. Okay, so the first thing we've always been taught, reduce your sodium levels so your blood pressure goes down. I am consuming more salt now, but it's a different kind of salt. I'm not consuming the unhealthy type of salts that's in like McDonald's French fries, or just the added salts that's in unhealthy processed food. I'm eating more healthy foods with the right types of salt. My blood pressure is perfect now, which has never been perfect in my entire life. I have never experienced numbers like I have now compared to then. Coke was the biggest addiction. I liked Coke a lot. Unfortunately, I also used it for cleaning auto parts, which is crazy. I used to like rum and Coke, were two of my favorite things to do when I got out of work for a period of time. Let's see, it took me years to totally break the addiction. Yeah, sugar, high fructose addiction is really hard to get away from. I mean, it's hard. Wow. Which area are you from? I am in Anchorage, Alaska there, Marcos. And I also provide some other local type footage on my channel. We mainly talk about my health and weight loss journey. How it's going from my perspective. I'm not a preacher. I don't sit out here and tell people, like, hey, you need to do this or that. We can talk through some different things, or if you have any questions about what I'm doing, the carnivore diet. I've done a lot of different things. I'll be turning 50 years old this year, and I've had a lot of experience with failure. I think almost all of us have, and quite frankly, I'm meeting a lot of people. They're just sick and tired of failure, and they're jumping in. They're just trying to figure out their own situation, and a lot of people have said I've been extremely helpful just by talking about stuff from my perspective and exactly how it's worked for me. So apparently I'm talking about relatable type stuff that people can understand, and hopefully it makes them make sense of what they got going on a little bit easier too, because it's hard to figure it out when you're all by yourself. Because if you go out here and you try to search anything, you try to make sense out of it, you're going to come up with like 30 different results, and they're all going to be talking about the same thing, but they're all saying something different. Yeah, soda is highly addictive, and it became addictive right off the bat, even before high fructose corn syrup. But that high fructose corn syrup is just like it's like just shooting yourself up with straight heroin. It does damage in ways that I can't even explain. With some open a can at work, or crave a Diet Coke. Oh, Diet soda. I did not like Diet. I always thought it tasted funny. Skin lifting. I have not experienced skin lifting. I wish. That would be nice. I mean, I get these bags under my eyes. I don't know if I can ever get them to go away or if I'm just not drinking enough water or what. Let's see, they cloned Gucci, clone Kodak, clone Eminem, his raps. Okay, I don't know what that's about, Marco. That's okay. I don't have to know everything. I can't understand every single comment that comes in because sometimes they're just different. Roy wants to know if I miss life in Joplin, Missouri. I miss Joplin, Missouri. I miss some of the churches the most. Now that's down right there, smack in the middle of the Bible Belt. There was a church down there. It wasn't too far away from my house, and I lived in a place called Dunawig, Missouri, just right outside of Joplin. It's on Route 66. I lived there for like 3 years, and I didn't even know I was on Route 66 until one day I walked out. Just happened to walk out to the street, and I looked up, and I'm like, oh, that's that famous road, right? I was like, wow, this is Route 66, and I live right on it. But just down the road a little ways, we had a really big, huge, giant church, and it was just so amazing. So one half of the church, so this church was an actual school. It was a college. I think it was called College Heights or something like that. But one half of the school was for the new generation, and the other half of the church was for the old school churchgoers. It had a more traditional service, but the newer side was kind of fun. I liked it. And at that time, I think I was in my 20s and 30s, but it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of singing going on, and a little bit of dancing and guitar music and stuff like that, stuff that the older generation just wasn't interested in. But the Sunday services after the classes were what I was most interested in, because I was there to learn when I was going to church. I wanted to know more. I had questions, and this was a church that would actually allow me to sit down and ask these questions, because I ask a lot of weird questions, like sometimes the difficult stuff. And some churches would kick me out. I was kicked out of a lot of churches over the years. And as a truck driver, you get to visit churches all over the country. And just simple questions sometimes would make the person giving the class feel like you were combating them or wanting to battle. And it wasn't a battle of wits. It was just me trying to figure it out. All right. But I miss the, a lot of the, Dunaway, that's where I was. But I miss the outlet stores. Cracker Barrel is one of my favorite places to go. There are so many buffets. CC's Pizza, that was another thing. I used to like hitting that up. That was like a pizza buffet down in the Midwest. I absolutely hated the tornadoes. I mean, they were just so random at times, and you just never knew when the whole top of your house was going to blow away. Those storms were something else. I mean, if anybody ever goes down in the Midwest and you see these big, giant concrete drainage ditches, don't just walk around and hang in there, because when it starts raining, those drainage ditches fill up all the way to the top, and it looks like a flowing, raging river in there. Tom McDonald. Okay, but 50,000 simply. I think, Tom McDonald. Okay, I like the original cola. Let's see, what is your taste in music? I really don't have a taste in music. I mean, if it sounds good on the radio, I'll listen to it, but I really don't listen to music very often. It's not something that I don't overly consume music like other people do. Well, John, it's been 2 hours. It has been, hasn't it? Holy moly. Yeah, I better get off here. It's almost time to go pick up the kiddos and figure out the rest of my day. But I want to thank everybody that's joined in today. I pray for anybody that's suffering through being morbidly obese or suffering from diabetes or other chronic health issues and stuff like that. I just try to get on here and make it as easy as possible to explain through my experience, which might help somebody else. It may not. But if anything, it's just fun. It's nice to get to know people out here. And I'm not scared to share these random foods that I'm eating or talk about carnivore diet or losing weight. I talk about other related topics around health. It doesn't all have to be explicit to one thing. But right now, the carnivore diet is incredibly interesting to a lot of people as they figure out their own situations. And a lot of people are coming into the carnivore diet and making really awesome claims about what the carnivore diet can do for their personal improvement. And that's all I'm out here doing, is saying, hey, this person over here might be a superstar in the carnivore community, but I'm just a simple guy living in Alaska, and I have found that those statements, many of those statements are true. And that's what I'm out here to do, is just talk about stuff like that and hopefully help somebody figure out how to get their weight loss journey started. So as I fumble through the buttons here, I just want to say thank you, and we'll do this again sometime. I appreciate you, and we'll talk later. Thanks. Bye. Boop. There it is.